Warning. The Dragon Between podcast may contain language and adult humor that is unsuitable for those 13 years and younger. Viewer discretion is advised. You're listening to the Dragon Between podcast, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign that takes place in the Eberron pulp fantasy setting created by Keith Baker. New episodes are recorded every other Sunday and released on the following week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for clips and future episodes. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates and news on the podcast. Thank you for listening, and now on with the show. When we last met, the characters had crossed the threshold of an ancient vault and found themselves on the astral plane. The strange inhabitant that referred to itself as the caretaker insisted that the party accompany him away from the vault. The group, however, refused this request, and a fierce battle ensued. The characters ultimately defeated the caretaker and its minions, save for 2 that appeared to teleport away. Eli then used his special spell focus to summon an instant fortress, protecting the party from more potential threats while they took a much-needed long rest. As the party set their first watch, each settling into a private corner of the summoned sanctuary, a stillness settled within. The calm, however, was short-lived, as the group's druid suddenly awoke from a terrible nightmare. The sound of Auri's ragged breath as she attempts to calm herself down after being startled awake from this terrible dream echoes throughout this instant fortress. And your companions who are awake or nearby are startled by the sound.
Anna will bolt up and run over to her.
Roger as well.
I will as well.
I know that look. It looks like you might have had a bad dream, and she just kind of looks with sympathy.
Yeah, it just felt so real. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you guys.
No, not a problem. We just wanted to make sure that you were okay. What was your dream about?
It's about when I was younger. I remember everything. I remember you. You saved me.
I did?
Yeah, you did.
From what?
Well, the people who killed my mother, they were gonna kill me too. And it was your family, Lasana. But they told you to chase me, and you helped me leave. You helped me hide.
And Nathana kind of closes her eyes and says, yes, I remembered that one now. Was that what you dreamed about?
Well, what I dreamed was shortly before that. It was, Roderick. He was him, but he also wasn't him. He's my uncle. He was something else. He was taken over by some sort of evil force. You could see it in him. He just wasn't him.
Does the name Roderick ring a bell to me?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
Hey.
Unfortunately, it does not. However, when you hear the name Roderick, you feel a twinge of pain in your head.
She slaps that part. She's like, ah! Was there a fly right there?
No, I don't think so.
The question is, why are you remembering everything right now?
I don't know. Did anything weird happen to you? I mean, whenever we were forgetting our memories, and then Eli did whatever he did, and we came back to, and
I remember losing my memories as soon as that happened, but immediately afterwards, after Eli healed us, everything came back.
no, this is much different. Everything came back. Everything from when I was younger, everything I had forgotten, it all came back.
Eli, can you explain that?
Oh, you need me? And he kind of like shuts the book a little bit. Oh. Well, certain magics, well, that I've ran into, especially healing magics, bring back, so how can I explain this? You can compress memory. Like, I got this new called spell that I can compress memory, and I guess she got casted on her, like, hardcore. And when you cast a greater restoration spell, like how to fix your brain, she remembers everything now. Like, voila!
How do we know that all of us remember everything? Could it be happening to all of us, or is it just me?
That I wouldn't know unless I cast it on everybody, but I'm pretty sure I remember everything.
Lethana kind of puts a hand to her neck where she had felt that buzzing spot, and she said,
Let me ask you this. Do you remember how you lost your memory? Think back, think to the end of your most recent memories.
It was to protect me. I remember who did it. They didn't mean me any harm. Lethana, do you really remember me? Think.
She closes her eyes and focuses. I remember the little blonde girl that I helped her up in the tree, and she kind of looked like you, but she still seems so distant.
Eli, do you think you could cast that on her?
Well, see, I'd used magic item. I don't possess that kind of power. I don't, that's like more of like godlike healing magic. I'm more like regular magic guy.
Ah, I see. Maybe that druid that Red was going to take us to? Maybe he'll know it?
Maybe. I'm not very well versed in druid magic.
Oh, yes. Druids definitely can. It was restoration, greater restoration, correct?
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah. There are several druids that are able to use that kind of magic.
This one thinks that the druid could be very helpful to you, Shifter Spirit.
And what is Ender doing? Is he taking another whiz?
Hold up. Orcs have a high risk for bladder like stuff.
Oh no.
Oh no, does Ender have an urinary tract infection?
Has a urinary tract.
I almost brought up the thing. Never mind. I don't want to.
Ender, there's magic to help with that problem.
Maybe the
Eli,
druid can
stop
help with
hitting
that
on me.
too.
Oh no.
This is not canon. This conversation is not canon.
Well, it is late. We should probably rest up. We have no idea what will be outside of our door in the morning. But she just takes Audrey by the hands and says, we're with you. I'm with you.
Thank you. I feel better knowing that. You may not remember me, but you're going to. We're going to find that druid.
While we're all talking, Shall we go back to bed, or should we make plans for the morning?
Well, unfortunately, you haven't finished your long rest.
Okay, never mind. She's like, okay. Oh, I'm tired.
Is this a short rest or a long rest?
This is definitely a long rest, if I'm not mistaken.
Whatever you want to do.
And the druid that they're referring to is Mad Maggie.
And has Red met this druid? Or have I only heard? Okay.
Oh, you've definitely heard of Mad Maggie, the Torn Druid. She spends a great deal of time in the Crawling Swamp and in Hearthland.
Okay. So yeah, I would go and I would like kind of pat Ari kind of awkwardly on the shoulder. This one can promise you great shifter spirit. Mad Maggie can definitely solve this problem.
Thank you, Red.
It's oddly peaceful.
Once I've done that, I'll head back up to Zito, actually. Thank you very much.
And the moment's over. Where do you go, Red?
This one heard the great shifter spirit scream out. She had a night terror.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, you see, Iron Kobold, my ears are a little bit bigger and better than your ears. I miss nothing.
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear that size joke. Zito is gonna continue to look up, outward towards the edge of the vault.
Lethana will take second watch. And her cordon of arrows are still set up too.
And how long does that last?
I think 8 hours?
And the range?
5 feet? No. 30 feet.
And dimensions of the fortress?
20 feet and 30 feet high.
And I set up 2 of them, so there's like 8 all around.
Okay, so I would be correct in assuming you want to take that long rest and finish.
Yes.
Yes.
What scenario would we say that no, we're not ready for that right now? I'm just curious.
I don't know. Okay, and who is taking next watch?
I'll do it, sure.
Okay, and after midnight has passed, Eli's instant fortress suddenly disappears, leaving you all free floating in the space where the fortress once exists.
Lethana would go right to Eli and she deciding, should I kick him or should I just be nice? She'll just kind of poke him, be like, hey, we lost the fortress. Okay, now she kicks him.
Guys, we're under attack! Eli jumps up ready to cast a spell.
She puts her hand over his mouth, so it's just like mm. She's like, everything's fine. Can you cast the little hut thing again?
How long has it been, Jeremy?
Well, your instant fortress ended at midnight.
Okay. Okay.
But you're an elf, right?
I'm half elf.
So you only need 4 hours to take a long rest?
Did the fortress have a bathroom?
I mean, it's up to Eli.
Like a can?
Sure. It has a can. It has a can for you, Ender.
Because I think I'd be sitting there in the pile of my own poop at the moment. That's okay.
More like you're free floating. Just in a squatting position. With some excrement coming out like a tail.
Gross.
So what you're saying, the Maxim magazine I was reading is now just a pile of papers?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Oh, man.
I hope you enjoy being a chicken, Ender. Lathana, well, it has a time limit in it. Well, it looks like we're kind of out of time.
Do you have any ability to cast spells?
In 4 hours.
Ah,
You mean 8 hours? This doesn't sound like uninterrupted sleep.
Well, Eli is a half-elf. So he only needed 4 hours.
Fate ancestry with that meditation.
So much for trolling Derek. Oh well.
Oh,
That's why half the party is half elves.
everybody wants to be an elf.
okay. Well, I don't have the fortress, but I do have another thing.
Oh, great. That sounds great.
I will start casting the tiny hut.
Okay, then. And what does your hut entail? What's the shape of it?
It's like a dome, and it will blend in with the floor. So you if you random people look in on in the floor, but inside the hut, very nice carpet. Eli's very large bed. Oh, we're all fitting in here. Oh. And where am I gonna put my desk? Oh, I guess we have capacity issues. Ender, you want to sleep outside? I'm just kidding. Don't worry. I won't put the desk up. I'm not used to visitors.
That was so funny I forgot to laugh.
Well, you might want to wake everyone up and move them inside the dome. I can't leave or I'll disappear.
Lithana just gives him a smirk, and she's like, "Okay," and then she'll help everyone get up, or just carry them into the dome. Well, if she can, she'll try.
And Auri, you said you're taking the last watch. Or third watch. What are you doing during this time?
I'll be sitting inside and just kind of looking around at everything, but staying inside of it, just sitting there cross-legged.
During your watch, Auri, there is a strange, booming, discordant noise that echoes out across the astral plane, seeming to come from everywhere at once.
Like an animal or like a machine?
Well, why don't you make a nature check to see if you can determine what it is?
I don't understand. I don't know how I would know this, but here I go.
It definitely sounds like an animal. A really big animal.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to stick around to find out what that animal is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but how exactly are we supposed to get out of here?
Wasn't the plan for Eli to contact that turtle so he can tell us how to get out of here?
Get the combination right.
Ah, yes. I forgot about that. uh, how many people have bags of holding?
I do.
Well, it would be a shame to leave all this great treasure. Eli will cast sending.
Okay, and who are you sending a message to?
Mr. Turtle Guy.
You mean Harak?
Yes, Harak.
Alright, and what do you say?
Hello, Harak. This is Eli. What was the password to get out of the vault? Your friend, Eli in group.
There is a pause, and then you receive a message back. The words elongated, and it takes several minutes for you to understand what Harak is saying, because it almost seems as if he's speaking very slowly.
Would Eli somewhat come up with that assumption?
I'll tell you what, make an Arcana check.
$21.
Oh yes, it's easy enough to determine that being in this plane of existence is affecting communication.
So Eli sits there and stares for a while, glazing at Lathana. Oh, sorry.
She sticks her tongue out at him.
It takes a while to get magic back.
No, I understand.
Takes you a minute to discern what the message is, but it is dragons, giants, marks.
After receiving the message, Eli will look. So, any ideas about the loot?
Well, how much time do you want to spend seeing if any of it's useful to us?
Well, I spent last night reading the book. I know what the items are.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm assuming that as nice as our turtle druid friend is, I'm not sure how kindly he will take to us taking all this treasure, if you know what I mean. So, it would kind of have to be done hidden, wouldn't it?
And we can always put some stuff in the bag of devouring, but not all of it will probably make it back.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm a little bit against that idea. The bag of we don't want to mess with that.
Too late to just put stuff in there.
Wait, no. I got a better idea.
You're waiting on your message.
As you're all deciding to figure out what you're going to do, a melodic thumping noise echoes from just outside of the vault. And after a few moments, a bipedal construct glides into the vault, glancing around at the Yugoloth remains. And music, would you like to describe your character?
Yes. So, what you see before you is a Warforged. Before I continue, does everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, you
I was
tricked
so
me.
confused. I thought music was a bot in like a
Yeah.
bot.
He is. So, what you see before you is a rather slender Warforged. He dressed in black, has several speakers built into him. He also carries a keyboard-like device across his back that seems to be held like a lute. But it does have a shoulder strap that you see that he's using to carry it. He has a grace to him that's not typical of Warforged. And there he is, just looking at you curiously.
We are doing the same.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how menacing does he look?
Unofficially, I can show you a picture.
Yes, please do.
Music, as you look around the vault, you are now recognizing the dismembered remains of your Yugoloth companions. The ones that left you back at the transport and have not returned for quite some time. Apparently, this group has dispatched them.
Well, that's awkward. As I'm sitting here looking around at my former companions, I'm wearing a mask that seems to light up in multiple different faces, like a smiley face, and just several goofy different faces. I take the mask off, and my face is more that of a traditional Warforged. I glance around at all of you and say, welcome, travelers. Did you do this?
Yes.
No. Maybe?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not upset with you if you did. I mean, I use the word companions loosely. I was more of an employee of theirs, musical entertainment to speak of. I wouldn't exactly call myself their friend. I wouldn't really want to be associated as friends with them, but they did pay good.
Don't sound
What
like a
happened?
friend. Well, I guess you could say we were ambushed.
Well, not exactly. One of us might have touched that book, and the big guy was all, "Oh, you're coming with me," and we fought back.
Well, in a nutshell, sounds very agreeable, I suppose. I mean, was your first response to kill them?
No, we were actually speaking to them. He gave me this really cool orb thing, and then he got really mad when we touched the book.
Oh, well, you know what tempers are like. I guess he was all up in his feelings about something, but not anymore, I guess.
He was going to take us to his boss, which means your boss's boss? Who might that be?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was just hired as musical entertainment. I don't really. I mean, I barely know these guys. You're not going to kill me, are you?
We don't think so. And then as I turn my back and say yet.
Do you play music?
Well, I did, but the astral plane is playing just absolute chaos in my circuitry. I normally can play almost anything I hear. Play back voices, play back music. I can play back music from other lands and different instruments. Pretty much anything you can imagine. I mean, sound, I can make it, but not at the moment. Things, they're not functioning properly. I don't know.
Are you sick?
I hope not. Can I get sick?
I do not know.
I don't know either.
And as you're gazing at Music's warforged body, you can see that his body seems to be speckled with what looks like almost like glittering diamond dust. That very much so resembles glitter.
Glitter. Oh yeah.
No. That's my arch nemesis. Glitter
Did
pop
she
must
say
go.
glitter out loud?
I said glitter.
The shiny parts of my armor. You like that?
Yeah, it's really pretty. It reminds me of stars.
Me too. It's actually dragon shard.
Oh.
You know, I like you. You need friends? We aren't that mean. We are way nicer than your old companions or whatever they were to you. You could join us.
You know, I like the sound of that, and I like your enthusiasm, but you only said that after I said dragon shard. You're not going to sell me, are you?
Oh, no. Actually, Eli kind of turns around and starts digging through his bag. I think I might have a gift, like hey, welcome to the party gift.
Oh, welcome to the party. Now, I like parties.
Yes,
So-
party.
Well, before we do that, what's everybody's name? Who are you, and what do you do?
Well, I'm
name-
Oh, sorry, Ender. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I didn't mean to be rude, Eli.
Oh, well, I'm Eli. I'm the party's magic man. In Eli's
lots of
smiles.
magic.
He points at Ender.
Ender. Hired muscle.
Nice. Always a welcome accompaniment to any group.
Lithana raised her hand. Lithana, I shoot things.
Nice. I've shot a few things in my time. It's admirable profession.
I'm Ari. I'm a druid. I heal stuff and sometimes I turn into even bigger stuff. And I'm also at the same time seeing that he had his mask. I'll take my porcelain mask out and put it over my face. And I think I like you.
Oh, nice. That's amazing abilities you have there, and that's a nice mask. I like that.
Thanks. Zito, don't be
And,
shy.
I'm getting to it. Thank you, Ari. Yes, my name is Zito. I am the artificer.
An artificer.
Yes, I'm an artificer.
That's an unusual profession. Perhaps later you could help me check out what's going on here and see why my sound system's not working.
Yeah, as soon as we get out of this vault, we can take a look at that.
Yeah, it's no rush, but yeah, I would really like for it to be working. I mean, I have greatly modified myself as I've traveled throughout the plains. I'm pretty sure I don't look like your typical warforged. I assure you most of it's purely cosmetic, except for the parts that make noise.
Lithana looks over at music and says, Wait. You have a sound system?
Yes, I also have several lights. They change color, and I integrate illusions and magic into that as well. I'm like an entire walking club. I mean, you can take a tavern and turn it into pretty much anything you want if I'm there.
Lithana leans over to Eli and whispers in his ear, Man, I'm usually the skeptical one, but this guy is absolutely charming.
I wouldn't say charming.
I mean, I try really hard to be charming. I'm not trying to be rude by any means. Oh, I am being rude, though. I have not told you my name yet. Well, let me explain it to you best I can. Most of us Warforged are self-named based off of our taste and talents. Back during the war, I worked with a third party. Actually, I was not involved with any of the military groups that you may know, but I was involved in data collection. And during the process of my free time, I decided to start collecting different audio files, musical sounds that you would have heard throughout your travels. And I became addicted to music in general. And my actual title and name, well, it's complex, but I'm known as the Mechanical Unified Sonic Instrumentation Contrivance, or as I like to call it, music for short.
That's incredible.
It's I make nice sounds sometimes.
Well, so what do you say, Music Man?
Still trying to make sure you're not slavers. You're not going to sell me, are you? I mean, if you do, I'm worth a lot. I assure you. I mean, trust me. Once I get the sound system back up and running, I'm banked. But I'd rather not be sold. Kind of like my freedom.
I mean, not that Eli, this is your decision, but are you guys in need of a DJ for your airship?
Ah, yes. So, I'm the captain of an airship.
Nice.
Yes, it's currently being upgraded right now, so we're walking around a lot. But,
Music.
Yes.
Do you have a backpack executable? Maybe you can help us carry our treasure back to Eli's ship.
I'm afraid, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm not really that kind of warforged. I'm not suited to much manual labor.
I don't know if we need them, guys.
Oh, he's so nice, though.
We got all this rope. Maybe we can just tie the loot to his back.
Pender. That's what we have you for.
No, really though, it's a robot.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. And there is one other drawback with me as well that I should mention to you before it catches you by surprise. The dragon shard that is embedded in my, I would call it skin, I guess you would call it armor plating, is actually infused in me due to a mining accident that happened probably 5-6 years ago. We were in a mining cave-in, and I was infused with magic shard, and when I was infused with dragon shard. When I came to, I was no longer in my normal plane of existence. I was in the astral plane, and I've been traveling for a long time now. Actually, I didn't even actually become a bard until after the accident. But you see, sometimes I kind of phase out of existence. Like I'm here with you right now. And it's not like I'm gonna disappear and be gone forever, but sometimes I'm not here. I just kind of disappear, but I will come back.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'd originally wanted to get that fixed so I could, not phase out of existence, but I've seen so many different things and so many wonderful places and existences besides what I knew. And I feel like even though I'm not as complete as a normal being that was born of flesh and bones, such as yourselves, my experiences have made me so much more just by being able to see the things that I've seen and experience the things I've experienced. And now I don't want to be cured of it. I kind of just want to control it.
Well, if you stick around with us long enough, maybe we'll find something for you. And we all have our own quirks. So
momentarily, guys, really quick, guys, I just want to go ahead and prove to you that I am your friend. I'm expecting company. Be ready.
And as you say that, there is suddenly off in the distance, beyond the vault, out in the astral sea, a sudden tear in reality. This fiery glowing icelet that expands, and out of which glides a massive flying fortress shaped like a sword blade. And the fortress is free-floating, ringed by the light from this massive gateway.
There's the company. Guys, that thing is massive and it's coming right for us. I'm not sure if you really want to deal with this or not. Well, um, I'll let you decide.
I think it's time to go.
I think you're right. That's a great idea. Let's get out of here, guys. Come on.
Eli wants to start using his necklace.
Okay, you want to make something?
Yes, I want to summon something. A portable hole.
Okay. As you begin to create that item, the massive flying fortress stays exactly where it's at, floating out in the astral sea. This dark object ringed with orange, fiery light.
Once I pull it out, I will lay it on the ground, and I'll open it up, and I'm like, put all the treasure in here, quickly, quickly.
I'll help him.
Eli will start pushing as much as he can into the hole.
Do you have the code for the door?
Eli, just a quick moment. How does it affect pushing treasure into a portable hole while you're actually in the astral plane? Is that going to be bad?
No, it shouldn't. That would be the same concept of bag of holding be bad, but I haven't found that the bag of holding has any problems.
Okay, but are you sure there's nothing in that treasure pile that's extra dimensional? I don't want to die.
I read.
Oh,
I did read the book, so Eli would know, correct? I don't think
we're
there
already
was.
in the astral plane. I'm not sure we could tear another hole into the astral plane.
Here, give me that. What was it? Bag of devouring. We'll see God today.
Hey, if you throw it in there, maybe it will tear a hole back into the prime material plane, and we can just walk through it.
Eli read the book during the time. Was there any extra dimensional items listed?
No, there aren't any.
Okay, put it all in.
That you're aware of.
Put it all in, guys. That's all I know. I'm pretty sure.
And Eli, how does the portable hole work?
It is the fine silk found that dimension that unfolds into a circular sheet 6 feet in diameter. It's 10 feet deep. The cyclone space within the hole exists on a different plane. Opens a passageway, and you can climb into it. So it's 10 feet. It's 6 feet like in diameter, and then 10 feet down. So you can fit a bunch of stuff in it.
And are there any weight limits?
Whatever you can fit. There's no weight limit. Just as much as you can fit in it.
Okay. And what are the rest of you doing to help?
I'm helping him, but I'm very confused.
I am too.
Hmm.
Who would like to make a perception check for me?
I think that's enough.
Are we?
I'll make
I
a
will.
perception check.
Beyond the Astral Vault, out in the distance, somewhat darkening the twinkling lights of the Astral Sea, a gargantuan shape is growing and looming larger in the distance. And you see this monstrous maw opening as this creature glides closer to your location. And as the great beast gets closer, you can see that it looks like this. This enormous serpentine creature with enormous crushing claws and a massive mouth with a cyclopean eye.
Is all the treasure in the hole?
The creature roars and begins bearing down on the vault.
Alright, I'll cast Bigby's hand. And just move the hand to push all the treasure in the hole.
Yeah, I'd stop digging through the treasure and like pull out my sword. This one thinks we should go now.
Yep. Let's go. Yep. Leah's going towards the door.
Yeah, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge.
Is all the loot in the hole?
At this time, all of the items within the vault and the coin have been put in the hole.
Alright, they'll close the hole and run towards the door. The password is Dragon's Giant's Mark.
As you all head back down the wide tunnel towards the Astral Vault door.
And Red would be like at the end of the line, making sure everybody else makes it first.
And as you do, the face of the dreadnought fills the archway at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, hey guys, what's the hurry? Why are we at a... Oh my god, what is that?
It's time to go. You can stay employed with them, or you can join us.
Who's doing the door?
I guess Eli will. Oh, where's he do?
I'll do it.
As you stare at this massive circular door with these different concentric rings representing different ages of the material plane of Eberron, you can see all of the different bas reliefs of dragons, giants, demons, Korai, Delcure, and of course the lesser races. And you of course remember the passcode of dragons, giants, marks.
I guess move the shard into the dragon mark. There, the dragons. That's the first word.
Are we able to move these shards to like the rings?
The dragon shard at the center of the door doesn't move. The rings themselves seem to rotate, and when you touch them, they move away from the door several millimeters.
What happens if I touch one of them? The dragon shards.
Your hand gets all tingly.
Am I able to submit it? Okay, what about the rings? Are we able to move those?
Yes, as I stated, when you touch the rings, they rotate. And if you press on them, they come out slightly, floating away from the door. And you can clearly make out the Age of Dragons, the Age of Giants, and the Age of the Mark on each of the rings.
Alright, I will try those.
And when you press and rotate each of the rings in the correct order, the gateway suddenly opens into the silvery gray, water-like surface that ripples before you, filling the tunnel with a gentle, glowing light.
So where does that go? You know, all this kind of reminds me of Eberron. I'm from Eberron. Did I tell you that?
Right, because that's where you're going.
Wait, what? Really?
And we push him out.
Yeah.
Ah!
Zito's gonna go through the portal.
Yes.
Yep.
I think they pushed me through first.
One by one, you each pass through the silvery gray aperture and find yourselves in the familiar cavern, the Grove of the Ever Another, within the chamber where this gateway existed. And you all see the familiar sight of the Tortle Druid, Harak on roll. Welcome back! I see you're all intact.
Yeah, how do we close this door?
With a snap of his finger, Harak makes a gesture, and the silvery aperture snaps shut behind you all.
Well, that was a self-answering door.
Well, I don't want to go back there anymore.
Oh, I felt the same way at first, but it's terribly fun once you get used to it.
Oh, hello, Mr. the Turtle friend. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. But how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. Y'all have only been gone for a moment. And seeing this newcomer, Harak goes, "Well, hello, stranger." And Harak gestures towards you, Music, and says, "Who are you?"
He's a friend.
Hi.
And where did you come from? You a prisoner of Rexul?
Fraxul. No, actually, I was working for his boss, actually. He's quite fond of music, but very, very heavy music. It's really strange. I wouldn't call him a friend, though. He's very prone to violence. But he does like some interesting music.
And the vault. I assume you found what you were looking for. How is the vault?
Oh, it's good. We left it just away. Yes, we were leaving.
He means it. No. She just like shoves her hand in his face. We got what we were looking for.
Make a deception check, Derek.
Am I aiding him or am I not helping?
Sure, you can give him advantage.
It matters not.
Well, perhaps I should go check it out later. Yes. Or maybe one of the wardens.
I don't think you should send anyone in there.
Yeah, there's a pretty large thing that's coming towards the vault. I don't think you want to send anyone in there anytime soon.
It chased us out.
I think they're a little bit confused on what they're trying to tell you. The vault is destroyed.
Destroyed, you say? And you're certain of this?
Fairly certain. There is something much bigger than the vault there, looking like it was about to eat it.
Well, that's horrible.
Yes, it was very sad.
Well, did you at least find what you were looking for?
Quite honestly, I'm not sure.
Yes, we found what we were looking for. And Lathana's still wearing her silk pajamas. She she clasps her hands in front of her and just bows. Yes, we did. That was what we found what we were looking for. And thank you so much for your hospitality.
Oh, thank you. It was you who ended Vrexul's madness.
By the way, yes. By the way, what's the date?
Well, it hasn't been much time for the group, but for you, it's been about a week since you were in the material plane.
And what year?
That would be the year 1000 YK.
But that doesn't make any sense. I've been gone at least 5 years.
Time moves a little differently in the astral plane. Although it's been about a week on the material plane, it's been years for you.
But that doesn't make... Yes, that's only 3 days after I left. Eli,
Yes, music.
you're quite the learned type. I've been gone 5, maybe 6 years, but the date you're all telling me is only like 3 days after I left Eberron. Does time travel differently in the planes from plane to plane? Wouldn't I still come back 5 years later?
Well, from what I studied, yes. I think I've read. I mean, this is the first time I've ever been in the astral plane, and it seems that time did not pass. But yes, it seems that time doesn't really pass in the astral plane from the old ancient books I've read. So that could explain your theory, and I think other planes have time affects them very differently.
Perhaps so.
You got off lucky if you asked me. I had a few companions who were only gone for what seemed like a day, but it ended up being 2 weeks in Eberron's time.
Oh, wow. Huh. That's strange. It's been 5 years. I was expecting all kinds of things to change when I come back, but well, I guess we'll see.
And at this time, Harak gestures towards the opening to the tunnel leading back to the main cavern. He looks at all of you and says, "Well, if there's nothing else you'd like to do here, shall we head back?" And as you each look and nod in agreement, you take the long, twisting, turning, somewhat familiar pathway back to the grove of the Ebon Mother. And once you've arrived there, what would you all like to do?
Eli would like to go check on the boat. Oh, Well, we might want to look and check on the boat, everyone.
It's only been an hour. Oh. But I think she said it was going to be like at least a day before she did her repairs.
So are you all heading back to the boat?
I'll follow Eli.
Okay, so you're going with him.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna be right next to him.
Yep, following behind.
I want to retrieve Sporlin.
Okay. Well, once you reach the grove, you see the familiar sight of your diminutive little mushroom buddy. And he runs up to you, scampers up your body, and begins hugging your head.
Hey, I missed you too.
I will follow the party wherever they go.
Red will go and check up on the kids.
I'll stay.
And me. Yeah.
All right. So with the party partially divided, some of you staying in the grove, the rest of you heading up topside along the river bank toward Ganama's craft. You head up the familiar spiral stone-cut staircase and find yourselves once again on that little outcropping rock overlooking the split in the river.
I'll keep walking till I see the boat. Eli will yell out, "Hey! Hey, is the boat fixed?"
The watercraft is still quite a ways away. You no longer see the black smoke that was pouring out of the engines.
I want to point it out for Lathana.
And Lithana will take out Humphrey.
All right, then. You take out your little figurine statue, and
Sure.
out comes your crazy-looking giant fly mount.
Can I mind if I go take a look?
Be my guest. Just let us know if you need any help.
I will hop on top of my large fly Humphrey and say, "Fly, fly, fly," which I guess is my code word. Just to get a closer look. She'll go just get a kind of a bird's eye view, not to get too close.
Okay, hopping on the back of Humphrey, and you fly over towards the catamaran. You don't notice any sign of Ganama. However, sitting on the top, the very top of the cabin section, you see a large amphibian, some sort of toad-like creature.
And shoot.
Oh, so you're going to fire at it?
Oh, I said well shoot. But sure. Sure. No. She'll wait to go back to the party and be like, I think these like lizard things ate Ganama.
Actually, it was a giant frog.
Guys, a frog ate Ganama. She might need our help. And she's saying this into her ring to the whole party line. Everyone can hear it.
You're kidding me. Can't go 24 days or 24 hours without trying to kill something.
Or our.
Or an hour. All right, Ari. Right, I think we have to go up there now.
It ate her? I don't know.
That's what Lathana said.
That sounds gruesome.
If they're saying it's into the ring, it says, well, one has, looks like it has a Ganama-sized belly right now.
And Lathana, as you've been speaking to your ring, warning your companions, you glance down and see the large toad-like creature staring at you, its throat beginning to distend.
I shoot it. Yep.
Just instantly.
I cast Hunter's Mark and then I shoot it.
Well, okay then. Take your shot.
First ask questions later. Am I targeting it?
Yep, it's on the combat tracker.
Oh, okay.
And that's a hit. And you deal 12 piercing magical damage to the creature. And do you do anything else?
Okay. I'm gonna wait to see how it reacts.
Well, alright then. After your arrow meets its mark, the creature suddenly leaps off the boat into the water. And what are you all doing during this time?
Zito's making his way up to the boat.
I'm following him.
Are you coming, music?
I'm going as well.
Red follows too.
Same, yo.
Don't tell me it's trolls again.
Hey guys, there's frogs and
And as you all make your way up topside, joining your companions on the river's edge, you all make it to the just the edge of the water where the catamaran is, and you notice that it has floated out a little bit of ways. But the more interesting you notice is within the cabin, you see a wide-eyed Ghanima pounding on the glass and mouthing something to you from where you are on the shore.
What is she mouthing to us?
Oh, she didn't get eaten, guys.
Well, you can't quite make out what she's mouthing, but you do see another one of those large toads that Lathana described, and it's currently trying to get into the cabin at Ghanima.
Mortal Kombat.
And would any of you like to do anything?
I mean, if no one else does anything, Lefana will go over to that one and shoot it. Get a little closer.
And as you do, more of the creatures show up, as well as your companions. And what follows is a short but pitched battle to save the boat and Ghanima. And after a while, you're able to destroy the last giant toad.
A
Wow, that was pretty cool, right?
I like to think so, yes.
Ghanima releases the lock on the door that heads into the cabin. And she comes out and she says, "Well, Lordy be, I think I may have wet myself. I was almost swallowed by one of those things."
I was also feared that I would be swallowed.
I third that.
Seeing music, Ganema suddenly aims a crossbow at him.
He's a friend.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
No, he's good. He's good.
Ganema begins looking at each of you with a quizzical eye, and then slowly lowers her crossbow and puts it away.
I step in front of him.
Where in the blue blazes did you come from?
I would like to make a persuasion check. That's a 25. I was running from a giant octopus. That was it.
Ganema just sort of smirks, looks at Auri and winks at her. Sounds like little Auri played a horrible trick on you. Probably should have told you about it.
She should have said something to me. I almost died. I almost leaked. It was terrible.
Did you say the ship was fixed?
Well, I got the engines sorted out. We just need to replace the mainmast. If y'all would be so kind, perhaps after we clean this gross frogs off of the deck, maybe y'all would be kind enough to go into the forest and find an appropriately sized tree.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could arrange something.
And you each receive 114 experience points for that encounter.
We'll take
More
it.
than I've gotten so far.
I think we'll take nothing, Jeremy.
I was waiting for negative.
What I meant to say was Eli would take nothing and be happy about it.
How long has it been? Yeah, since the combat ended.
Oh, about a minute.
Oh, okay, the hand's gone. Dang it!
And with that, you all set to the task of helping Ganema retrieve a tree. Half of you assisting her with removing the broken mainmast from the catamaran boat, and the rest of you heading off through the muck into the forest proper, where you find an appropriate sized tree. And after a bit of hilarity in the mud and the muck, you are able to find an appropriately sized tree and bring it back to the shore. And as you're trying to figure out how you're going to lift this mast onto the boat and set it into place, you all hear the familiar sound of Harak's voice calling out across the river's edge. Y'all need a hand? And as you turn and look, you see Harak riding on the shoulder of the massive earth elemental, striding towards the craft.
He's a funny guy.
I hate him.
With the assistance of Harak and the warden, you're able to make short work replacing the main mast. Ganema sets to the task of finishing it up, reattaching the sail, and explains to you all that this will be completed in the morning, and you'll be able to set out on the river once again. After that work has been completed, Harak looks to you all and says, would you mind joining me for dinner? I'm getting ready to prepare some. It won't take too long.
Or I don't know.
Yeah, why
what do
not?
you think?
Dinner will be served at the Overlook. You can either assist me in preparing, or go about your business, or you can go back to the cave and relax. It's all up to you.
Let's go with him.
Yeah, we'll go with him, but Eli will tell the group, we need some alone time.
I don't swing that way, Eli.
The hole is only temporary, and after midnight, everything in it disappears.
Or should we stay on the ship then?
We must distribute properly now.
Oh, you mean... Oh, you think the ship would be safer than talking in the caves?
Well, Turtle Man doesn't know where we got it. It could be from a previous adventure.
Better not to have questions asked.
Or have him go away for a while. Either way, we need to move some loot out of the hole and into our pockets. Any objections? Or I can just teleport myself back to the ship and yeah, bye bye. No takers? No, okay.
Well, if nobody wants to help you, I'll be glad to help you sort through everything.
Oh yeah, see? Music, my man.
Hey, I'm here to help. Matter of fact, I can sing this song while we do it.
Yeah.
This is true.
So, out of Turtle Man's view, like if he's go off wherever, Eli will lay the hole down and open it up.
So right here on the shoreline, next to the boat.
Oh. I was thinking we went back in the cave and found a good spot in there.
So you want to go back to the cave?
Yes.
Okay. If there are no objections, you all head back towards the Grove of the Ebon Mother and find a nice, quiet antechamber off of the main chamber.
Yes. So he'll lay it down and open the hole back up. Alright. And starts reading off the items.
All right. Eli begins to go through the books taken from the caretaker and begins pointing out all the various magical items.
Yeah. And he will start naming, and then this is this, and there was a ring of evasion, a ring of featherfall, ring of free action, ring of spell storing, a ring of telekinesis, rod of security, scimitar of speed, there's a manual of iron golem, the gold jewelry box, didn't Ari take that already?
I took something out of it.
Oh, okay. Okay, and Gem of Scene, Dragon Scale Mail, Chain Shirt Armor +2, Bronze Ring, yes, a paint bottle, a magical paint bottle, you paint it and it happens, like if you paint a door in a wall, it becomes a door. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Some beautiful, beautiful gems. And there's this like ooze that I think that we should not use, but hey, if you want to be risky, you could be risky on yourself. But I can explain how it works if you choose to be cursed. Yes, there are many cool items. Before you touch anything, I better finish reading this book here. Eli pulls it out and starts reading and see what else he can identify.
And with that, the group sets about to distributing the magical items found in the Astral Vault. Just realized that my OBS was not recording. Whoops.
Hey, Ender, you need the potion of heroism so you can actually be a real hero.
Oh.
Oh gosh.
And then I'm gonna start crying.
No, it was a joke. I read it in my joke book. I'm learning jokes.
I would like to inspire Ender. Insult him back, Ender. I got you.
I will call him a pale face.
Well said. Well said. You know
And
where
I
he's
hope
from,
it
Eli.
hurts.
Where he's from, Eli. That hurt. That hurt bad.
It was also really racist. And I
Hey.
regret saying it.
It's not my fault. I'm an elf. We don't tan that well.
I'm waving a healing potion in front of Eli's face. You gonna be okay?
Maybe a little drip.
I'll let you lick the bottle.
So who's going next?
Let's see. That would be Ari.
Did Ender pick?
Oh, I'm not next. I'm after them.
I suppose I'll take the ring of feather falling.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I kid you not, guys. For some reason, I was not recording.
Wow.
We believe you.
But you know, it's okay. We were just distributing magic items. There was some gold in there. I apologize. Man, it's 2 weeks in a row I'm having audio issues, guys.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Next is Ender.
I will go with the, Can you talk to me a little bit about the splint living armor? Does that mean I turn into, God, what's his name? Gutsu from Berserk?
Yes. Or you could also say you look like Nightmare from the Soul Calibur series.
They look identical, but yeah. Okay, so basically, if I'm reading this right, this gives me it makes it so I have to always give it half my hit die after a long rest.
Correct. It's going to feed off of you. And you can only remove it by using a spell to remove the curse.
Yeah. And it doesn't give me anything additional, only resistances to necrotic, poison, and psychic damage, right?
Yep.
It's plus 1 bonus, so it gives me an 18 armor class. Does it allow any dexterity through that? I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
It does not offer a dex bonus, unfortunately. Yeah. And it gives you disadvantage to stealth.
I'm going to keep my adamantine, and I think I'm going to go with I think I want the ooze.
You go for the ooze?
I think so. Is there anything bad?
About the ooze?
There's nothing bad. Yeah, there's nothing bad in the ooze, is there?
Yes.
Essentially, the biggest downfall to it is that, in addition to you can't voluntarily end your attunement. Again, it is a cursed item, so you have to have a spell that ends the curse. If you die while it's inside of you, it bursts out and eats your corpse, and you turn into a black pudding.
A friendly black pudding.
Allied with the Daukir, meaning it will eat your friends.
I see.
I can change you back.
I don't know if that fits. Like, I really want the ooze, but it doesn't fit Ender's death that he wants. He doesn't want to live forever as an ooze. So I'm going to say no to the ooze, even though that seems like I would love that.
I mean, it gives you really cool resistances, and of course it gives you the amorphous ability, which as an action you can speak a command word and you basically become an ooze, and you can move through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide without squeezing. You can only do it once per day, and you also gain an acid breath that you can also only do once a day. So basically, it makes Ender terrifying. It makes anyone who swallows it terrifying.
I think I'm going to take the potion of heroism.
Okay.
And end my turn.
All right then. I believe it is Lathana's turn to pick an item.
Okay. Are Nullsor's magical pigments still here?
They are not.
Them. Okay, never mind.
As you're looking around and you're looking at the various items, and you see Auri is holding the little box, the little container in her hand, and she's slowly studying the surface of the box.
Good choice, Anna. Ari, sorry. Okay, Lathana will pick the potion of possibility.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Eli and Red, who has the highest dexterity modifier?
Eli can go.
Eli can go? Okay.
I don't want any more things from the list.
Okay.
Oh, you don't want the cursed item? Eli will take the ring of telekinesis. Thank you.
Okay. And last in the turn is Zito. What would you like, Zito?
I'll take the scroll of Dark Star.
Okay.
Now that's a nuke.
Alright, I believe there's a couple of pairs. There's still the armor, the 2 cursed armors, and the 2 other armors, and some potions, some scrolls. If you would all like to roll once again, we can close this out, or if you've all decided that you'd rather just move on, that's up to you. Auri, are you participating?
Nah, I can move on. I think I've everything I need.
Okay. Zito, it's your turn.
Alright, I think Ender can really use that ring of free action. So I'll take the other spell scroll.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ring of free action's gone, sir.
I love it.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll still take this other scroll.
Which scroll?
Illusionary Dragon.
Okay, go right ahead. And Ender, it is your turn.
I'm going to take Potion of Gaseous Form.
Gaseous form, all right.
Just so I could be a living and breathing fart.
Yes.
Don't fuck with me, guys.
Ender is a fart, you guys. Lathana, it is your turn.
Let's see here.
Can you wear medium armor?
That gives me disadvantage on stealth, right?
no, not this one.
What am I wearing right now?
Eli would suggest the chain shirt +2. If you have better AC, then maybe not.
I have a +2 actually.
Yeah, I think what she's wearing is pretty much even with the chain shirt.
Okay, never mind.
Looking.
No, actually, I take it back. What she has wearing is actually better.
Oh, yeah, okay, I forgot she had that special thing. Red, do you wear armor?
I have mithril half plate.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. Well, no. Eli was trying to be helpful.
Thank you, Eli. We always appreciate it.
Aw.
Can music
what?
wear the armor?
No, light armor only.
Hey, if you guys decide that you'd rather hold off, select anything more from the horde, that's up to you.
Sorry, I'm just looking. I'll get the potion of watchful rest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ender,
that's actually pretty
don't
good.
forget to grab that potion of gaseous form, Ender.
Oh, I thought I did.
Ditto can take the armor.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, would a split living armor do anything to my AC? Or to stay the same?
Well, what are you wearing now? Let's see.
I'm wearing 18 with no dexterity.
Bonus. It's AC base 17 plus 1 bonus.
So you give him an 18. But this
18,
one comes with resistances.
but it gives you the resistances.
Okay. I thought I was doing that math right. I wasn't sure if I was missing something.
No.
So you're gaining resistances. You're losing your immunity to because I believe you already got +1, don't you?
I did at the moment. I'm not going to for long. I'm going to be losing my +1 to saving throws and my +1 to AC for my bring a free action. I do believe.
Okay. So basically it'd be the same. You're trading resistances for an immunity to critical hits.
And the con of having half the hit die.
True. Having to feed it. It'll be slowly eating you every day. You don't have to decide now. You guys can just hold on to this stuff.
I'm really disappointed no one went with the slime, the ooze stuff.
Well, music still has a turn. He might change his mind.
I can actually go ahead and tell you my intentions now if you'd like to know.
Sure.
I fully intend to get the ooze and both of the living armors.
Okay.
Well, I believe it's music's turn to pick anyway.
Well, you know, Eli did roll a 10.
Did you?
Hold on, I got an idea.
It is your turn. I'm sorry, Eli.
I mean, you know, not to, step on anyone's toes.
Hey, Eli, you mind if I go ahead and go instead?
You know, you're right. I'm feeling generous today.
Thanks, Eli.
Hold on, let me see if I probably can't even beat him. Insight. I'm feeling generous today.
All right, I've got Chiron's ooze.
Okay. Eli, would you like to pick an item?
Dang you! I was going for that one next. I'm gonna go take the scroll of Magnificent Mansion.
Okay.
That suits you. I could always see you in a magnificent mansion.
Thank you.
You chose
Thank
wisely, Eli.
you.
All right. Would any of you like to pick any more items, or did you want to move on?
I'll take the chain shirt.
I'm gonna say, Zito, you should whichever has a better AC, the dragon scale and the chain. They would sit you really well. I mean, I don't think anything else really, other than the 2 living armors. And is anyone want to test that? I mean, I don't have this. Eli doesn't actually carry the spell to remove curse. So until I get that, you'd be stuck in it.
You'd be a man in a can
Pretty much.
that's eating you.
So it's up to you. I mean, and like I said, but we do have the dragon scale mail. But don't worry, we could sell it.
Actually, I think I'll change it for the dragon scale mill.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. That dragon one's pretty cool.
Lithana will pick up the bronzewood ring and walk over to Ari and say, "Hey, Ari, I think this would look really nice on you."
When you pick it up and hold it out to Auri, you notice that there is a word inscribed in Elvish. It says hope in Elvish.
It's beautiful, Ivana. You're right. I really do like it.
And she just smiles and says, I think after all that you've been through, you've always had hope. So
Thank you, Ivana. And I'm gonna put it right on one of my fingers right away.
Okay, roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, wait, what?
I'm just kidding. Can you imagine?
And she dies.
I'm just kidding.
No.
It was her.
I hope you live when you put that on.
It's always been you, Auri. All of a sudden, Lithana just starts stabbing Auri.
No.
She's been a sleeper agent this whole time. Oh no.
Lithana will also pick up a
The
deep
dagger?
green spinel gem. No.
Yeah, there's a box, the jewelry box that Auri originally opened and found that orb in, is full of all of those bits of jewelry, the gemstones. Those are all in that box.
Wow, those look good.
And
Okay.
in fact, the box is big enough that any other gemstones that you guys have been carrying around and haven't distributed, you can put into said box. Which brings up another point. You guys have a lot of items floating around in the party inventory. You should probably distribute amongst each other and determine what you want to do with them.
Well, I think I've heard everybody refuse the living armor so far. Do you mind if I just grab them, guys?
Go for it, man.
I go for it.
Didn't even have to persuade you. Nice.
Well, speaking to your very good words, you could possibly sell them.
Oh yeah, I already plan on it. Whoever buys these is gonna think they're lucky and grant wishes.
Ah, very good, very good. You
As
know,
you-
just think of us when you do.
As music goes to grab each of the living armors, they sort of vibrate a bit and make a little squeaking noise as he handles them.
Hey, none of that. Behave.
Maybe they think you're their father.
Maybe.
roll a persuasion check on a living armor.
And I think whoever has the jewelry box can have all the with the pearls and other gems in there.
Well, did I persuade them?
Are you my daddy?
Yes, I am. Now get in the bag. But yeah, it's not going to be too hard to sell these. I'm just going to tell my wizard friend Eli said they grant wishes.
Whoa. I mean, did I say that?
No, they don't know that. And, I mean, you're like a really powerful wizard, so if they get mad and come back and want to fight, it's better if you fight them than me. I mean, it's always better if anybody fights them other than me.
That is true. I am a very powerful wizard.
I know. It's amazing. I mean, I watch you sometimes, and I'm like, wow.
Speaking of powerful wizards, does the group's powerful wizard have a plan for this 1,400 pounds of coin that are inside of this hole?
Oh yes, Ender, you mind?
Ender will grunt and get to work.
You said you were the muscle?
Ender, can you carry 1,400 pounds of gold and platinum?
Yeah, here I go. Yes, I can.
So
I'd like to see the DM argue with that.
I don't even know how much of strength, what kind of strength. Yeah, I don't know.
So, in answer to your question, right now, based on how much stuff you guys are carrying, it is highly unlikely that you would all be able to successfully, even amongst the 7 of you, carry 1,400 pounds of coin through this swamp. Even evenly distributed amongst the group, it would still be quite the feat. You would all be encumbered. You have
help at all?
well, the hole unfortunately will go away at midnight. So he would have
the bag of holding.
Oh, the bag of holdings. Each of them can carry 500 pounds apiece, but you're also storing items in that weigh a certain amount in each of those bags as well. So essentially, trying to carry all of this coin in your bags and your bags of holding is going to make it difficult to carry all the items that you're already carrying.
I got an idea.
Yes.
How about we just take all the gold, slide it over here towards me. I'll use the rod of security to transfer me and the gold up to a paradise of my choosing. You just carry the rod to a bank. Let me know when we get there.
Does the rod stay behind?
I don't know.
Good question.
I have to be holding
I don't think it does.
activated. But I'm pretty sure Eli, being the powerful wizard he is, could let me know when we get there, and I could just bounce back.
When you just end up in the swamp alone?
The rod transports willing creatures. It doesn't transport items. Like
Does it transport what I have on me?
If the willing creature is carrying the items, then yes.
Because I will sure enough take a bath in that gold.
Unfortunately, you can't carry 1,400 pounds of coin.
Well, we have 3 bags of holding.
I believe so.
I don't have a lot of weight in my bag. So I could carry like 450 pounds in my. I mean, obviously my bag's gonna be maxed out. So it depends on how much the other 2 are holding, and then the rest of the party we could all carry it in the regular bags, distribute. If it's only like 100 gold pieces, then that's easy. But
I have a bag
or
of
100
holding.
pounds.
I still have about 30 pounds more I can carry on me before the bag of holding.
Keep in mind, you guys are already carrying coin. Each of you are.
Oh yeah, okay, true. I didn't think about
That's
that.
why
Yeah.
I said that, you know, it would be very difficult to carry all of the items that you guys already have, plus all this coin.
Can we polymorph it into a gummy bear?
Dang.
If you had a means of teleporting it somewhere.
You know, that is true. All right, everyone.
You do have an airship that's currently docked somewhere being worked on.
Can't one of us summon earth elementals? Why don't we just do that and make him cure it?
That is true.
Oh, that's a good point.
Pretty sure earth elemental could carry 1,400 stuns worth of gold.
Well, the other issue is, what are you going to put the coin in? 1,400 pounds of 1,400 pounds of coin is a. It's not like he can carry it in his hands.
You can make a box. I'm sure it's not that hard to make a crate.
All right,
One
Zito.
that holds 1,400 pounds might be kind of hard, actually.
Zito, get cracking. Don't you have some spare adamantine or ingots or something? Pull out your portable forge and start making a box to carry this stuff in.
What is this, Dragon Quest?
That is true. I do have teleportation circle.
Why don't I just pull this genie out and see what he thinks?
The rest of the group, you hear music say genie, and you're all flashing back to a time when your wizard friend Eli used the power of a genie to repair his ancestral airship, the New Horizon. And you're all remembering that Eli used a very powerful spell through that genie called Wish.
Oh yes, music. See, I was gonna ask you about the bottle. See, I have a friend. He's a genie friend. I talk to him all the time. Like all the time. Me and him are like bros. And I was going to maybe give him the bottle so he could do what he wants. You know, help his buddy in the bottle, and maybe he could give us a special boon.
Well, then call him.
Okay, good. I will cast sending to my genie friend.
Okay.
Hey, it's Eli. You know how me and you are homies? I got another bottle. I'd like your help with it, if you want.
You're out of words.
All right.
You get a response back. Eli, it says, a bottle? What kind of bottle?
Dang it! I'll cast sending again. It's a genie bottle. Haven't touched it. Waiting for you.
And you hear there's a pause, and then you hear a response that says, you are either blessed or cursed by good or bad fortune. I will be with you momentarily.
Hey guys, he said he'll be with us here shortly. And he said I was blessed or cursed. But I'm gonna take it, I'm blessed. I'm a blessed man.
I think so.
So
Well, let's wait for him.
some time passes.
Let's get a magic circle ready. We could bind him.
Well, remember, he's my friend. He's my friend. Not this one.
He's
Any
about
other
to be
one.
my friend too.
There is a sound. It sounds a bit like a sucking noise, and a brilliant beam of light appears on one side of the cavern wall, and you all see an entity of blue skin pass through, standing before you. the majority of you have some recollection of the story that Eli told you all. I don't believe any of you actually physically saw this being. But you now see a jolly, somewhat portly individual of blue skin wearing a headdress made of silk with gemstones, just opulent, covering it. He's wearing a sash around his waist. He's wearing a very fine, dark-colored vest that barely covers his chest and torso. And he not so much walks, but just sort of glides out of this aperture, which immediately closes. And this individual is now looking around the room, clocking each one of you, and then stops when it looks at Eli, and a big wide smile begins spreading across his face. Eli, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you, my friend?
Not great. I take it you heard my response to your message recently about what's been going on in the realms?
Yes, I was a bit worried, but we are on our own investigation as well.
Now, what's this about a bottle? What kind of bottle?
Well, you see, there's this like cursed dragon, and that my friends are all here. We all killed him, and he had like a horde, and I guess part of his horde, which because he dead, the horde becomes ours. We found a genie bottle.
And do you possess this bottle now?
Hey, music, you want to show him?
I mean, I don't know. He's your friend, not mine. Are we cool?
And this site, of course, music, you've seen many things in your travels through the astral plane. You've seen many sites, different types of creatures. This individual is not something that you've encountered before. He is wide and tall and imposing.
Yeah, not at all like me.
Well, hey, don't worry, music. You're a friend of mine. We're all cool here.
I'd rather hear that we're all cool here from him.
Well, my new friend, if you'll show me this bottle that Eli spoke of, I'm quite sure that we'll be all right.
Okay, I got this Afridi bottle right here. Is this what you're talking about?
And the moment
And
that
I'll-
you say Afridi, his eyes sort of go a bit wide, and he almost looks like he's recoiling at. And he has his face sort of wrinkles up a bit, and then relaxes once again. That is
That's
a
not a good
very
response.
dangerous thing to be carrying around. You say you found this in a vault?
Dragon
Yeah.
Horde.
Yeah.
That is very dangerous to be carrying around, as I said. Well, what exactly did you wish to do with it?
Well, actually, that's what we wanted to talk to you about. What exactly do you wish to do with it? Because we actually need some help transporting some stuff right now, and if you need this or you want this, or if there's anything you feel like you should do with it, we'd be willing to let you have it, if it helps us out.
Well,
Yeah.
he is a friend. We could just give it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to just give him the bottle and then he's going to bounce back to wherever he came from, and you're not even going to remember to mention that we need help hauling all this stuff, so I figured I'd mention it now.
True. But hey, I've dealt with him before. He's not trying to screw us over. He's a good friend of mine.
Well, I believe you on that. I just want to make sure that somebody mentions it.
And while you're speaking, he's continuing to scan the room and look at each of you, and he's looking at the portable hole. I assume you haven't closed up, full of coin.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah.
And he's looking at each of you, holding aloft these various, opulent magical items. Each of you inspecting your ill-gotten gains. Well, not necessarily ill-gotten gains, but your new items.
Yeah, man, we killed a dragon. An evil one. These are ill-gotten gains.
It was mostly me, but they helped.
And the djinn, you asked him what he would do with it.
Yes.
The bottle. He looks at you and he furrows his brow and he says, "Well, it is not for me to pass judgment on a being from Fernia. However, I'm more than welcome to. I'm more than willing to take this off of your hands if you feel as though you have no use for this bottle. Called me here. I assume that's what you want? You want me to take this off of your hands?"
Yes. Yes, I do. You know?
It is a dangerous item, and Ifreti is not something to be trifled with.
Well, we could cast a magic circle and open it up.
It's dangerous.
I would advise against opening the bottle.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's probably what you would say.
That's why I brought you here, I told you that I was always going to help you out. And I found this, so. Aren't you guys, don't like each other or something?
It's not a matter of not liking each other, a discourse. We are similar beings, of course, but an Ifreti is... How shall I put it so that you understand? They are chaos incarnate. They can be something of great value, or they could be something that is pure destruction and bring calamity upon you if you are to cross one of them.
So basically, we're offering a Tenori and a bottle to a Celestial.
Yes.
My question to you is, what exactly do you want in return for taking this off of your hands and potentially helping you with you said transportation problem? And he's continuing to scan each of you and look at each of you, and like he's trying to read each of you.
Well, your friendship. I just thought of you when I saw the bottle.
Yeah, that's nice, Eli, but look, we need help moving all this gold back to the airship. Can we just give you the bottle and get a teleport back to the airship?
You want to be teleported to the airship? Is that what you wish?
With our gold. Yup.
Well, once we get to the airship, there'll be no way back.
Do we need to come back?
Oh, we still haven't completed our mission, right? I mean, we're here for...
Hey, how fast can you get to the airship from here?
Are you asking the djinn, or are you asking Eli?
The djinn.
Well, that's a simple task. I can travel there and here and there within moments. That's no problem whatsoever.
He's your friend, right, Eli?
Yeah.
You trust him?
Yeah, I do. I trust him with everything.
All right, I'm rolling up the portable hole and handing it to him. Go drop that off at the ship. Here's a bottle.
Oh no! The hole will disappear. We should probably go to the ship and then empty that into the vault and then jump back.
He's a djinn. He knows how to do all that.
Yeah, you're right. I do trust him. But that's a lot of gold.
Does Lethana trust him?
That's a good question. I mean, this is technically the party's decision.
Does he seem trustworthy to me?
Make an insight check.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Lathana, again, I don't believe that you or really any other member of the group saw this being when you were
Sorry,
on
Latana. You look trustworthy.
the airship chasing after the vampire. You don't really recall, other than the stories that Eli told you, and of course the fact that the airship exists and you have traveled on it. So you're fairly certain that this seems to be on the up and up. Eli is speaking to him in a friendly manner. This being from another plane of existence is responding in a friendly manner.
Lithana shrugs. I don't mind.
Okay. What about the rest of the group?
He is a genie. He could probably turn that portable hole into like a real thing.
Is that
Well,
what you
he's not
wish?
going to rob us.
Do you wish for that to be the exchange for my taking possession of this bottle, Eli Stormbringer?
Well, I mean, it's up to everyone else. What do you think, Music?
Honestly, he's your friend, and you seem to have faith in him. We've already explained our problem to him. He understands the best way to handle this. If you think that's the best way for us to handle the issue, Mr. Genie, then that's what we're going to do.
Or the bottle for maybe one wish for all of us each?
Is that what you
I slowly look at Eli.
Is that what you're asking for, Eli?
Yes. One wish.
And you fussed at me.
The djinn looks at you, Eli, and says, though your generous exchange is mighty, I am afraid that I can only grant you one wish, Eli Stormbringer. An exchange. If that is what you wish for, this exchange, I will gladly assist you in helping you transport this wealth to wherever you wish. Not included with your wish, if you will. But I may only grant you and your companions one bend of reality.
Deal. It solves our problem, and we get a bend of reality.
Okay. He looks to each of you for an agreement. If you are all in agreement.
So he's not going to say no to a djinn.
He looks at Auri and Ender.
I'm staying silent and I just nod in agreement.
Okay. The
Look at Eli and trust him.
the djinn, the blue-skinned entity from the plane of Serania, reaches out with his left arm onto the cavern wall where he passed through before, and just sort of waves a sigil in the air, creating a few centimeters away from his hand this sigil, this arcane light that creates a symbol and then expands, and there's suddenly this brilliant energy that expands out, creating a hole in the side of the wall. And he looks at you, Eli, and he says, Zerashak, right?
What?
Zerashak, that's where you wish to go?
Yes, it is.
That was the word on your mind.
Oh, yeah, it was. Man, he like
any particular, and you can see as he's holding his hand out, you can see a city beyond the portal of light, and he's moving his hand about, and you can see that the image is shifting, and he asks, any particular part of the city you wish to go to? You mentioned the airship.
the bank?
I'm afraid Zerashak doesn't have a bank.
Oh.
At least last time I visited Zerashak.
Sharn does.
That's where I would only see where we could drop off the gold, I guess. Other than the airship.
Is there anyone that you trust in Zerashak? Again, I don't have to send you there. I can send you somewhere else. That was the word that popped in your head when you were thinking about it. And you can now hear the familiar sounds of like hammers and whatnot coming from out of the portal. And you're seeing now the image of the New Horizon in a state of disrepair, and in the entire port side of the vessel through this portal you can see is completely gone, and you can see the exposed levels of the decks.
Your ship ain't looking so good.
It's being upgraded. Is anyone else have any idea where you want to go?
How about the Bank of Sharn?
That's really far away. We'd have to somehow get back here. That's the only issue.
Would you all like to take a quick break and then come back to it and decide what you want to do?
Yeah. Probably the best, so we can knock it out.
Alright, let's go ahead and take a quick break, guys. I know it's a little early, but I saw that Ender took off to take a bathroom break.
Yeah. And I need some idea. I need some help.
Okay. Put a pin in it for now.
Derek needs some help.
This doorway in reality that he's holding open for you all.
But what do you think the best option would? I mean, Kevin, we're going to a city already. I mean, that's where we're headed to on the boat. I mean, what do you?
Honestly, I did most of my work in Sharn. I don't know about anything about any of the other cities.
That is true.
Where are we still going to again?
We can choose. We have gold. We can't move the gold by ourselves. He opened a basically teleport to wherever you want to go.
Is there a bank in Goldmire?
That's true. That's really the only city that you would know of other than Zerashak. Music.
What about Goldmire?
And I know Ender's not here, but Ender would know about Goldmire.
Yeah. Yeah, that one person that was like, Ender, and we any thoughts, Ender?
Yeah, because gold.
So again, even though the Jinn doesn't know if there's a bank there, that doesn't mean that there isn't one. And back in Zerashak, the only reason why he chose that place is because that was one of the first things that you mentioned.
Yeah. No, for sure, because he's thinking of the airship.
So once we go to said bank, we have to get back to the city of wherever the ZB are, right?
Aren't we heading to Goldmire?
No, you're headed to Hartham, which is which is the place that the settlement that Red is suggested that you go to.
Do they have a bank there?
Would Hartham have a bank? Yeah. That's a bit. Yeah, would Hartham have a bank? Dang. We're really in the middle of nowhere.
I can tell you that Hartham will not have a bank.
Okay.
And so wait, Hartham was the place that Red was suggesting we go to talk to the druid?
Yes, that is the place that Red mentioned where the druid might be.
And we were going to talk to the druid so that... I thought it was so Ender and Ari could be healed, but they're okay now.
Well, if you'll remember, they mentioned what was wrong with Lathana's memory, the possibility of the druid helping that way.
Right.
But also, as you'll all remember and recall that the Crawling Swamp, which is where Hartham is located, was the place that the Shogun suggested that you go to look for the terrorists.
Okay, perfect.
Now-
By the way, guys, I'd just like to point out that we just traded an item that has a minimal value of 5,000 gold, so we can transport approximately 5,000 gold. Wouldn't we be better off just to leave the gold and take the bottle?
Actually, it was to transport 340,000 gold.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you can take the. I'll give you. You know what? I'll give you 5,000 gold right now, just to walk away.
Hey, cost of doing business.
Truth.
Oh well.
It's pretty cheap for a wire transfer,
Well,
The only bank I know of is the Bank of Sharn. Why don't we just go there and drop it off?
Maybe I can ask him if he'd give us like a couple hours in Sharn and bring us back.
Just tell him we need a really big chest of holding.
Like Lumon's secret chest.
But the problem with that is after like so many days that you know.
Nope, it's instantaneous.
But no, I'm saying like after so many days that like you can have your chest be found out and stolen.
You're just using it to transport the gold.
Oh, that is true. But at that point, might as well just make the hole permanent.
You can do that too.
Well, if that seems like the simplest solution, why don't we just make the hole permanent, roll that thing up, and take it with us?
Right. Yeah.
Then we can use it again if we run across any more dragon hordes.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
did we lose Ashley?
Yeah.
We did.
Oh no. Hope she wasn't bored.
She said something urgent came up.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but I imagine she's getting her shotgun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I guess we can make the whole ask him to make the hole permanent and.
We want to make the hole permanent, and we need an antimatter rifle.
Okay, is everybody back?
No, Ender's not back.
Oh no,
Oh no.
Lathana died.
No, she succeeded.
1.4% transaction.
So what's your decision? I know this is me putting you guys on the spot, but unfortunately this is the sort of thing that happens when you play Dungeons and Dragons. Sometimes you don't get like 20 minutes to like figure out how to decide.
Well, Eli will say, let's all solve our money transportation problems as if you could just make the hole permanent.
The portable hole item, you want him to make that permanent?
Yes, on top of the bend in reality. He said he would do both.
Done. Portable hole is now permanent.
Thank you, my friend.
And he looks to each of you and he says, "You don't have to decide now on your wish.
Okay.
I assume that's what you wanted." And he looks he looks specifically at you, Eli, but he's also looking at each of you. Because he knows how mortals work. And there's a sly grin crawling across his face right now.
What? Who said Lathana was mortal? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, before you go, can you help me realign my music player?
Oh.
And he looks at you, sort of cocks his head to the side and says, "Music player?"
Yeah, there's some dragon shard in here. It's not lined up right. I can't reach it, and just if you can get this fixed.
He looks to you, Eli, looks to the rest of the party. This newcomer is a close personal ally of yours?
Yes, in fact, if you ever need a favor from us, he'd be happy to help.
Very well. And he slaps his hands together and begins rubbing them back and forth. And then he places his palm on your chest and then moves his palm down your body, your torso, music. And there is an audible sound of stone on stone and grinding. And he looks at you after a few moments and he says, "Done. I can't exactly say for sure that I understand this music player box that you refer to. It is repaired."
Well, what it does is it projects audio signals that originate from me. Like my instrument back here actually connects to me directly, so I can amplify the instrument through my body. Would you like to hear it?
Curious.
If it works.
By all means.
All right, I'm going to sling off my guitar and get to it.
A melodic tone begins to emanate and amplified from music's actual body.
This is so cool.
Wait till I turn the lights on. That's enough for now.
The djinn now looks to you, Eli, looks to each of you, and expectantly pauses for a moment. Well, if that is all...
Yeah. If you need anything from me, just let me know.
I will do that, my friend. And he begins to turn around. Before he had summoned the portal in the side of the cavern wall, and now he waves his hand. Another sigil is produced, and that similar blinding light opening up onto a azure-colored sky, wispy clouds in the distance. And the djinn floats up off of the ground, passing through the aperture, and the aperture closes. And he is gone.
That was so cool. See, I told you he's real. I wasn't making it up.
I believed you the whole time.
And I will take that bottle from your inventory, music.
Actually, I put it in the party inventory.
Oh, well then I will take it from the party inventory.
That was pretty cool, Eli.
Yeah, man, I talk to him all the time. What do you think, Ari? He was cool, right?
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I've never seen something like that.
Yeah, powerful wizards always have friends like that. What other people are you friends with, Eli?
Well, more other powerful wizards. Nothing like that, though. That guy is just one of a kind. But I hope to make more friends. I do. I'd be really cool to be friends with, like, a dragon. Like a good dragon, you know.
Hey, Eloy, was that the same person I heard you messaging that one time? You know, you were saying like, "Oh, princess, I love you. Come to my airship. It's beautiful." Was that... Were you calling him a princess?
No,
Is he your prince there, Eli?
Yeah. You could say that.
You guys have discovered his secret.
Do I believe him?
I don't know, do you?
I'm
I
going to
don't-
choose to believe it.
I don't normally ask for insight checks against players, so...
No, I don't.
Eli stumbling over. Yeah, he's my princess.
So it takes you all, this whole exchange of exchanging items and summoning and speaking to the djinn from the plane of Sarania. It takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours, figuring it all out. And as you're all still within this chamber, there's this sound, this stone grinding on stone sound. And an earth elemental comes out of the cavern wall into the chamber. And it looks at each of you. And you'll hear it speaking in a gravelly voice in common, say,
"Dinner time."
Ooh, it's dinner time, everyone. Let me close the hole and put it in my pocket.
And without another word, the creature turns around and begins lumbering out of this antechamber back into the main chamber of the grove. Do you all wish to follow?
Yeah, Eli will follow.
He's going to put all of his treasure into his bag and go toward eat dinner.
Okay. What about you, Auri?
I follow as well. I would imagine Ender does. I'm just going to say he follows for you.
Okay. What about you, music?
Yeah, I'll follow everybody else.
Okay. All right. The sun has begun to get low in the sky. As you all ascend after passing into the main chamber and passing through and then ascending the staircase up to the surface of the that stone edifice that hangs over the split in the river. You can see now that the one elemental that serves as a capstone, if you will, for this place is seated, sort of sitting on its butt. That hut still sitting aloft on top of its head. And as the sun is starting to set, you can see the brilliant scarlet colored hues with golds mixed in. You can now see the ring of Sybaris, which is that brilliant golden band that you always see in the night sky. This celestial glowing arc of light that passes through the sky.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
And you see the familiar sight of the druid, Harak, who has a wonderful spread out before you all. You can see he has constructed tables made of stone with various foodstuffs spread out before you. There's a brilliant roaring fire nearby. And you can see that various types of dishes, mostly consisting of steamed and roasted vegetables. Doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of meat-based protein here. But there's a wonderful spice to the food, the smell. And as soon as you all head to the surface, the majority of you, when that smell hits your nose, your stomachs begin to growl, and you're all realizing it's been a while since you've had a home-cooked meal. And
Yeah.
the turtle looks at each of you and says, dig in! And you can see he's already been stuffing his face with a skewer, which has chunks of various types of vegetables on it roasted. and he's just pulling pieces of it off with his mouth and chomping on it.
I'm gonna go sit next to him and grab one of the skewers to enjoy it myself.
And he looks to you and says, "Oh, little one, it's good to see you again. You must try this cobbler when you're done." And he gestures over towards what looks like a copper pot, on top of which you can see rising up in a mound some sort of breadcrumb pastry. And you can see in various areas where this matter is oozing out of, and you smell just this tart berry of some sort, which is which this pastry consists of.
Oh, it smells amazing.
Please have as much as you want.
Lithana goes immediately for the cobbler and she licks her spoon as she eats it. Wow, this is delicious. Well, I haven't had a dessert since we were with that queen and her perverted children.
Ah, yes, the queen.
It's made from blackberries. Do you like blackberries? And he's now, he's seeing that a few of you have taken interest in the cobbler. He's now scooping out into little wooden bowls, a nice healthy portion for each of you, and distributing it to each of you.
Oh yes, I think we used to grow these a lot on my family's mansion acreage. We used to pick them with my cousins as a child.
They are
Do you remember
delicious.
that? Do you remember that, Ori?
Of course I do. Actually, Rock, may I ask you something?
Of course. Oh, Eli? Oh.
Yes.
Rock.
Eli's sugar daddy.
No.
I just read that.
I want to ask the turtle.
Oh, a turtle.
Yes, child.
Rock, do you by chance know how to cast Greater Restoration?
I do. Afraid I don't have the materials at hand to prepare it. Do you have need? Do you have need for something like that?
I do. My friend Lithana here does. What do you need in order to cast it?
Oh, I just need to take a trip down to the cave and look through my personal storage, if you will. We could do that later on if you were interested in. You said you wanted to cast this on one of you?
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna look up at Lithana with just a big smile on my face.
Well, if you don't mind waiting until after the funeral, I could help you with that.
Oh, of course. We must pay our respects first.
And as he says that, he gestures beyond. The sun is going down. The sky is growing dark. You can see the celestial bodies in the sky now becoming much clearer now that the sun is going away. And you can see this standing up on this wooden stage, if you will, not too far away from this area where the stairs descend down into the cave system. You can see what looks like a large wooden dragon. It's an amalgamation of a twisting of vines and wood, which forms this shape of a dragon that's up on this stage. And there's a big spot underneath that you can see that kindling has been added to beneath it.
What's that for?
Oh, that is the funeral pyre for my patron, Rexul.
Oh, your patron. Yes, I forgot. You served him.
Yes.
What's his name again?
Rexul, son of the great black dragon Vivarok. Would any of you like to hear a story?
I'd love to hear a story.
Of course.
And the turtle now has sort of hunkered down and near the fire, not too close. But you can see in his eyes are a bit glassy from the flames of the bonfire. And he, after a moment, he speaks and says, "The legend of the origin of the world of Eberron states that 3 great dragons created the planar system and created or discovered the draconic prophecy. Golden Sybaris created magic. Gentle Eberron created life. And cruel Kyber was the creator of that which lurks in the darkness. Long ago, the great black dragon Vivarok taught the first gatekeepers and began the druidic tradition in western Corvair. Vivarok taught the orcs." And he gestures with a big meaty palm towards you, Ender, with a smile on his face. "Taught them druidic magic over the course of a century, before departing to spread the gatekeeper tradition, which spawned out of the various druidic traditions all around the rest of Eberron. Before she disappeared from the face of Eberron, the great dragon had 2 sons, Vivarix and Rexul. Both were tasked by their mother with spreading the druidic traditions. Vivarix traveled all over Corvair, while his younger brother Rexul stayed in the Shadow Marches. It is unknown what happened to Vivarix. He has not been seen since the fall of the Dakani Empire. To be honest, Rexul formed my order out of sheer boredom. He once told me that empires rise and fall, but his mother's teachings would live on." And he now gestures towards you, Auri. "You are a child of those traditions, are you not?"
I believe I am.
She would, and he would be very pleased to see a member of the lesser races continuing those traditions. And then he turns and looks in your direction, Ender, as he heard you begin to speak up.
I was just going to ask if there's a possibility that possibly the other dragon is mad as well.
I do not know. As I stated, the fate of Vivarix is unknown. The Dakani Empire fell over 10,000 years ago. And he begins, after looking at you, staring into your face, his big glassy turtle eyes looking into yours, begins to haul himself up away from the fire and reaches down and grabs a chunk of wood which is flaming. And he turns and he looks to you, Auri, and he says, "Will you help me?"
Sure. How can I help you?
"Will you help me to him?" And you can see now he is beginning to cry. And he doesn't, it almost seems as though he doesn't want to look at the effigy which has been constructed, the wooden effigy of the dragon behind you all.
I'm gonna move to comfort him.
And he rests a meaty hand over your much smaller hand. He says, "Thank you. and he rises up the rest of to his rather imposing stature as a turtle. He's pretty tall, and he begins to turn towards this effigy and starts to walk towards it. And one hand holding aloft the torch, the other hand holding onto you as you lace your arm around his. And as he gets closer to it, he begins to say, "Farewell, Vrexul, son of Vivarak. May Cronupsis judge you for the sum of your good deeds, and forgive your most recent transgressions." And as he ceases to speak, he begins to slowly light the kindling underneath the effigy, and you all watch as the effigy begins to burn. It begins to spark up a light. And this mix of wood and vines begins to smolder, and the brilliant orange light from the fire increases, lighting the area around you all much more so. And as you're looking beyond, you can see now that there are various creatures just beyond that bonfire that are sitting at various distances away from you all. You can see a few deer. You can see some larger furried creatures, what possibly might be a bear. Auri, you recognize the form of that enormous otter-like creature, which has some smaller ones sitting next to it. They're all standing at attention, pointed towards the pyre. And then beyond that, you can see trees, which are closer from the tree cover at the edge of the forest, which almost as if the trees have walked out from the thicket towards this area. And you can see now that they resemble the walking vegetation that you all encountered when you went to the outpost. And as you're all looking at these various creatures who seem to be here to pay respects, a warm breeze washes over you all. And suddenly there is a humanoid figure seated on a nearby log, close to the fire. He wears beat-up leathers, caked in mud, and leaves with a dark green hooded cloak pulled over his face. And this baritone, gravelly voice speaks out. "Greetings, Harak. How are you holding up, my old friend?" And Harak turns in the direction of the voice, now finished lighting the funeral pyre. And you all hear him sort of catch his breath for a moment and says, Darek, I'm so sorry. If I'd known you were coming, I would have prepared better. These are my friends." And he now gestures towards all of you.
Who is this Harak?
This is the Blight King, Your Majesty. And he sort of bow. You see Harak now bow a bit, and this hooded individual just sort of waves a hand towards Harak and says, "That'll be enough of that. So, he is gone. Vrexul, how did he die?" And Harak is silent. He does not speak, does not respond. And this newcomer now begins to look around at each of you. And if you look in his direction, just under the hood, you can see that part of his face, which is lit by the fire, the bonfire, and the funeral pyre, you can see what appears to be human features. One half of his face, it looks as though the skin is composed of tree bark. And the other half, you can see, has some sort of wild, brilliant, glowing, pearlescent blue tattoo, which is glowing and illuminating that side of his face from within and under the hood. And he is now regarding each of you, one by one. Even though you can't quite see his eyes, you can feel them on you.
Well, from what Harakas told me, he's gone mad and attacked our boat. We acted in self-defense and ended up killing him.
Is this true? And he looks towards Harak, and Harak says, "Yes, it is true. They ended his madness."
I'm gonna speak up and tell him that he died an honorable death.
The individual with the hood turns his head, doesn't turn his body, but turns his head in your direction, Ender.
Child of the marches. Do you speak for these people?
I can only speak for myself. They all have voices of their own.
But you are native to this place.
Yes.
And you are familiar with this place and its traditions, or should I say, its original traditions.
I do not know. Jeremy, do I know what he's talking about?
Without even needing to roll a history check, you would be intimately familiar with the traditions of the Shadow Marches in terms of your people, the clans, House Thrask, how this place basically was and is, and how it came to be. You know, you grew up hearing all the stories of the creation myth for the Shadow Marches.
Then what is he talking about?
He
says that. Am I forgetting like some kind of like anything I'm supposed to do?
No, you.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. Roll an insight check.
Okay.
I know these are not exactly your best, but hey, a 20 is not bad. You get a sense that he's not referring to the funeral. He's referring to the marches themselves.
I'm going to look around me and say yes.
He looks at you, and you can feel his piercing gaze from under the hood, even though you can't see his eyes. You can see that brilliant, soft blue, silvery light, which almost looks like it resembles the wing of a bird, which is coming off of the nose and curling around a cheek, and then back the inside of its head underneath the hood. And Yao looks at you and he says,
"The Queen has taken notice, and she has a message and a warning for you and your companions. Harak, you graced them with a story. It's only fair that I don't have words prepared for the passing of Rexul. But I have a story that I can share with your newfound companions. If it is all right with them.
I'll hear your story.
What was that?
I think someone got the boat running.
Yay! The sound of Ghanim's catamaran engine erupts, echoing across the river, and you all just hear very, very faintly Ghanim yelling something in Orcish.
Dharma, read the room.
And I will hear your story.
I would be remiss to assume that you all know of the queen that I speak of. Therefore, I will tell you this tale. There is a power that watches over the woods, even in this marshy land. There was a time when the world was the wood, when there were no towns or steel. The Forest Queen ruled the endless world, maintaining peace between people and beasts. But as ages passed, her children grew restless in the shade of her leaves. Her eldest son came to her and said, "Mother, I dream of war. I want to build a fortress and wield a blade of steel." The queen replied, "Then leave the wood, but do not bring your metal into my domain." So he left the wood, and he founded the kingdom of Karnath. The next day, the eldest daughter came before the queen. "Mother, I dream of magic. I want to build a tower and conjure fire." The queen replied, "Then leave the wood, but do not cast your spells in my domain." So she left and founded the kingdom of Thaliost. One by one, the queen's children left her, until she was alone in the woods with the spirits and the beasts. And as each child raised a kingdom, the woods grew smaller and farther apart, and the heart of the Forest Queen grew bitter and cold. The people are her great grandchildren, and she will not harm those who stay on the path and respect the beasts of the forest. But those who stray from the path, who conjure fire or hunt with steel, those fools will be lost in the endless world and never again see the light of day. You have interfered with her affairs, destroying her blights. For this alone, my queen would have you punished. However, you also destroyed her quarry at the outpost and laid Vrexul to his final rest. Therefore, my queen has decreed that you are all free from any molestation while traveling within the marches, so long as you do not kill any more of her beasts or any spirits within the marches. Is this agreeable?
What if we're attacked by these beasts first?
Then you are free to defend yourself against said beasts. I will tell you that so as long as the Forest Queen's boon rests on over your heads, then you will not be molested by the creatures of the marches. I cannot, of course, speak for the aberrations that now infest this place.
I can agree to that. No beasts or spirits will be harmed.
I can agree too.
Yes, I can agree.
Music, are you sneaking up behind him?
Yeah, but I'm keeping a good distance from him, nowhere close to him.
Okay. As you are moving around in the dark beyond the campfire, you're hearing the creaking of this walking tree, which towers over you.
Cool.
The stranger now turns and nods in the direction of Harak once more, and pauses to stare in the direction of the funeral pyre, which has been ablaze this entire time, before turning and beginning to walk towards the woods.
Well, if he's leaving, I'm going to come out of my hiding and walk past him. Nice story. I like that.
And as you start to walk past him, he walks through you, and as his body touches yours, he becomes a cascade of falling leaves, and he is gone.
That was cool. Music's excited. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, that is really cool.
I wish I could do that. Eli, find out what spell that is.
It'll take some time. I gotta do some research.
I want to cascade into nuts and bolts.
Harak is sort of leaning against you, Auri, this entire time. Seemed to be a bit shook by the presence of this individual.
Are you alright, Harak?
He does not visit often. Derek, I mean.
He didn't strike me as a people person.
He is not. Derek is a spirit of the forest. He serves the forest queen. The blights. You would be wise to fear the power of one who is the champion of the forest queen. Those are his.
And he now gestures to the walking trees that of various heights and sizes that are now filtering away into the dark towards the wood.
You are lucky that he was in a good mood. Is any of that cobbler left?
And he now starts to tug away from you towards the fire, back towards the spread.
I don't really eat, guys, but if y'all going to eat, I can play some music.
Why don't you set the mood for us, music?
Okay, very well. Let's see what to play. It's kind of a dark night. We've discussed a lot of dark things and heard some dark tales. Let's just keep going with that theme. So, before I left and went out into the plains, I actually ran across a knight one time. Perhaps y'all have heard of him. He was Lord Marshal at one point. A guy named by the name of Samael. Anybody here familiar with him?
What, you met Samael?
Yes, Samael the Reaper. Do you know him?
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. When did you last see him?
Well, to me, it seems like it was 6 years ago, but I guess a few days back in Goldmire.
And he's mentioned this settlement before, Goldmire. Ender, you were familiar with it. It was the settlement that the New Horizon passed over when you all saw that shriek of fire going towards the settlement, when you first crossed the border into the Shadow Marches from Droam.
He's an amazing warrior. Showed up on this contraption wreathed in flame. I thought it was a demon come to kill all of us, but it was just a knight. He was wearing black armor, had the skull for a helmet. I mean, when he struck, he sent shockwaves. But then, when I went to the plains, I actually ran across a different version of him, like an anti-Samael. He actually fought another warrior named Vrax and lost to him there, but I don't think he was the real Samael. I think he was kind of like a doppelganger or something like that. I don't know what happened to him, but he's very impressive. I wrote a song about him if you'd like to hear it.
I'll hear the song.
Very well. And with that, music is going to equip his guitar, plug everything in. And as he does, you'll notice that the internal components of music actually start glowing through a myriad of like a RGB color spectrum as they rotate colors. He will cast dancing lights and minor illusion to add additional colors and effects to the field. And then he will start playing.
While you're preparing to begin playing for them, Barak is looking in the direction of each of you, and he says, "Did you happen to find that pack that you were looking for in the vault before it was destroyed?"
Yes.
That's good.
So Eli bobs his head that down, you know. Yes, we did. I believe Zito has it.
Zito will shake his head as he was trying to listen to the music. Because like, what was it, Eli?
You have the note.
What note?
From the person that died inside the vault while we went to the vault.
I got the backpack.
Yeah, yes. What's in the backpack, apparently?
Zito will pull out the backpack and see what contents are inside it.
As you fish the backpack out, the synthesized music and the combination of the dancing light spell creating this strange image floating in the sky above music as he continues to play. You saw the few items that were within, one being the large chunk of dragon shard. The few items, one resembling a toy rail car from a lightning rail, and another that looked like a small marmoset, almost like a rodent or a weasel-like creature. It appeared to be of a construct version of one, but it looks like it's in a bit of a state of disrepair. And then, of course, you find the pentagonal-shaped letter.
Zito will open the letter and see if he can read it.
Okay. It is a letter, the wax seal of which was in the shape of a coat of arms that looks like this. And of course, you would almost immediately recognize to be the coat of arms of House Civis, the dragon-marked house of the gnomes.
House Civis. What would they have any business out here for?
And you can see that the letter is dated the 9th of Larvian, which is many months ago. Actually, about 2 months ago, to be exact.
Was that the time of the first group, or the search group was sent out to go find the first group?
Well, I would say you guys would have been out on your adventure during that time.
So we would have been on we would have been on that airship going to here. Okay. So.
And it is identified. What was that?
Music's still playing.
Okay. Can you all hear me all right? With the music in the background?
I can hear you.
Okay. Would you like to read it, or would you like me to read it to you all?
You can read it, Jeremy.
Okay. So the letter, as I stated, was dated a few months ago. And it says, Mistress Magrim. Ordinarily, this sort of missive would be handled by one of my lesser subordinates. However, I felt compelled to send one of my personal couriers to deliver this to you. My niece, Constance. The Committee of the 12 has received your detailed letter in regard to the missing expedition. Rest assured that we have already sent a secondary expedition to investigate their disappearance and the rumored elemental nodes near Balinor Sorrow. The committee has dispatched a delegation to meet with Shogun Zaduk Kontan to discuss the shogunate's apparent lack of action in this manner. This shogun appears to care more for his borders than the very people who founded his nation. Make no mistake, we will get to the very bottom of this. You would be proud of Erlev. He has become quite the orator on the committee. Do give my warmest regards to Darik and Kundarashta. Your humble servant, Lysi Liraman de Civis, Baron of House Civis.
And wait. So.
And if you all like, I will share this in the chat so you guys can read it yourselves.
Yes.
As this melodic sound continues to bump, so to speak. There you go.
Yeah, music heard none of that. He's too busy headbanging.
And if you look over music towards the Druid Harak, he has been nodding his head to your music this entire time and slapping his knee.
Oh, I'm gonna snatch him up. We're going dancing.
And as your music ceases for a moment, he glaps his big meaty hands. He says, "Wonderful! I can honestly say I've not heard of anything like it."
Yeah, that's how we rock out in the plains. I tell you what, I'm gonna throw the keytar across my back, hit the play button. Just assume that the music is still going, and we're gonna go dancing. Anybody else wants to jump in? Feel free.
What does Zito know about House Civis?
Well, specifically, you know that House Civis is the dragon-marked house that is mainly centered on communication.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing, because it says the Committee of the 12 has received your detailed letter. So who sent? Was it Civis that sent?
Well, the letter does reference someone called Constance, and Zito, you would recommend you would know that this is the name of someone that you were trying to find. But before you met this group of individuals on the airship those many months ago.
Oh. Well, Constance. Hmm. Now that I recall, I think that Constance was one in the expedition that went missing. I think we may have found, or at least we found her pack.
Well,
And you,
Ender, were you listening when the letter was being dictated?
Yes.
Ender, you would absolutely recognize the names that are mentioned in that letter. First being who it's addressed to, Magram, and the two individuals that were referenced at the end, Darik and Kundarashta. Those are the three heads of Clan Torn, Ashta, and Velderin, the leaders of House Tharask.
I explained to my group that those three are the leaders of House Farak.
Would Lithana know any more information about this?
In regards to...
Well, in the Oish's dealings with the marshes.
The very thin details that you would know is that the marches are, or have been, self-sufficient, especially during the days of when Ender was a samurai serving his clan. The marches don't have trade roads through House Orion. They don't really deal directly, traditionally, historically, with the other nations, other than to ply their trade of discovering Dragon Shard and supplying Dragon Shard to those who needed it outside of the nation. It's essentially Dragon Shard, specifically Eberron Dragon Shard, was their main source of income, besides the other part of House Tharask being the hired guides and hired individuals that they would send out. People would hire them essentially, not unlike Droam, the creatures that live in Droam. They would hire them as guides and as people to find people. The Mark of Finding, of course, giving this boon, this ability to those who possess the Mark of Finding, a much easier way to track individuals and things. And that was their biggest business in the Shadow Marches and beyond.
it says that they were investigating the elemental nodes in Balinor's Sorrow. Hurak, which way is that?
Malador
You know?
Sorrow, yes. It's off to the south, beyond the main city of Zarashak. It is the large forest before the marches meet the Thunder Sea.
And are we heading in the opposite direction of that?
Yes, you are heading in the opposite direction. You are heading towards the Crawling Swamp, which is almost the most northwesternest section of the Shadow Marches themselves.
When we're on our way back to Zarashak. We need to check this out. This is the reason why I'm here.
I should also mention Ender. After hearing the names of the patrons of House Tharashk spoken aloud, you are realizing that Derek de Velderin shares the first name of that stranger that just graced the party's presence during the funeral.
What a coincidence.
According to Harak, who referred to him as Derek.
I'll unveil that information to my group.
You know, I did notice that as well.
Oh yeah, any one of you would have noticed that he's clearly had a dragon mark of some sort on his face, which seemed to be damaged on one side, that part of his face that looked like it resembled tree bark over his skin. And it was dark, but you could still see the familiar sign of a glowing dragon mark.
Well, in my past life, not as an assassin, it was always about putting pieces together and thin threads of things. And sometimes cases I took that seemed completely unrelated all converged. And I wondered if that's the case here. Not only for our own time saving, but also that we can crack these different cases. Maybe we can talk to... She looks over at... gosh, I keep forgetting his name. Herrick?
It's Harak. Harak on roll.
Harak. Well, I know you're not a big fan of Derek McCloken, but do you know anything about him? Is there anything we can talk to him again?
That would be unwise. Derek is a force of nature. Comes and goes. It has been some time since I've seen him. These last few months, actually, he's frequently come by the grove and checked in on me and wondered if Rexul would come to his senses, or I'd asked Derek if it was a way to turn him back to what he was before, and Derek said that nature will will itself to be.
If you don't mind me asking, what was he before?
Well, Derek, from my recollection, before he spent majority of his time here in the marshes, the swamp, believe he was a dignitary of some sort. Of course, he would never talk to me about it.
Lithana has this kind of flash of excitement go across her face. Well, we have to talk to him again. Could you send him a message? Is that possible?
I think. I mean, I've sent, but I mean, I guess I talked to the genie. But sadly, I'm at the spells for today.
Oh.
Well, if you want my opinion, maybe sleeping on it is in order, and trying to decide how you wish to address the Blight King. It is unwise to waste his time.
I understand.
And Harak now stretching, standing up. Oh, I am so full. If you don't mind, I'm going to retire for the evening. I'll gather those materials to help you with that spell in the morning. Is that all right with you?
Oh yes, that would be most generous. Thank you. Let me know how if I can repay you in any way.
Oh, don't bother. At the very least I can do. And Harak begins to plod off towards the stairwell that spirals down into the grove of the Evan Mother. And you are all left to your own devices around this bonfire with these new revelations.
Eli turns to Lathana. You know, I was just kidding. I was hoping the turtle man would leave. What do you want to say to Duroc?
Who do you want to talk to?
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I mean, I don't have his number, but I could probably send him a message on Facebook. Hold on. Dear Dwayne, how is that Black Adam movie? The teaser looks dope. Hey, could you answer a D&D question while I have you?
Watch him be a total closet D&D nerd.
Yeah, you need to send him that message, Jeremy.
Oh,
I want to see that tweet.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I'm threatening you right now. It's official.
If he doesn't answer, make sure you tell him that Vin Diesel plays D&D. If you don't know, those two don't get along very well.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
You know who else plays D&D?
Terry Crews.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, he does. I don't know though, man. Terry Crews playing D&D. I mean, that's like when you make a paladin and put all your points to strength and charisma. You're just running through the field screaming, "Power!"
Lefana's like, who's Terry Crews? Is that a friend of yours? Lefana will turn to Ender and Zido and yeah, Ender and Zido. So Hirak is right. We don't want to waste his time, but what do you want to know? I can speak for us if you'd prefer, or we can all speak together.
Wait, what are you going to do, Lathana?
I'm speaking to oh gosh, now I want to call him the Rock.
Just call him your husband's name, Derek.
Derek.
It's pronounced
Derek.
It's pronounced Darik, but you can call him Derek.
Derek.
Why don't I speak to him? I'm pretty persuasive. You just tell me what you want me to ask him.
Make sure whatever you say, we don't get Harak in any trouble.
I will say whatever y'all tell me to.
Well, why don't we start off by saying that, let's see, Luriman Decivis sends her regards.
Is that what you said? Lariman Decivis sends your regards?
Or, not Luriman, like Lessie Luriman.
Lycee Liriman?
Lycee Luriman. Decivis.
By the way, those animals are still sitting vigil on the outskirts of the funeral pyre, which is blazed for a while. It's starting now to die down. You still have the bonfire, which you've all been positioned around in your various spots, relaxing around the fire.
So if I play a song and want the animals to start dancing, what check is that?
You can make a performance check.
Woohoo!
So we would say, Lizzie Learman Decivis sends her regards. And we find you in this letter of fun companions we sought out to find. Is that a coincidence? And what do you...
How many words was that?
Well, I guess we're trying to... I don't know, I kind of want to have a conversation.
So is that what's the message you want to send to start this conversation, I should say?
Oh, what does he really want?
And is Eli using his magic to send this spell? Or to
Not
cast
yet.
the spell? He's not, okay.
The Blight King. What is his goal in life?
Probably to live in the woods.
Well, I did mention the Forest Queen and told you a parable or a story about her.
Yeah, but the moral of the story is we want to live in the woods.
Was it, though?
It was more of to keep the new technology out of the woods.
Was he threatening me? He doesn't want me in the woods?
That's why you hid.
That's why Music hid. He felt threatened.
But, I mean, he was talking about big machines and fire and forge. I mean, we did just ride a horseless carriage.
We did.
Well, we did. Not you.
I think he's talking about Zaduk's Bane. So remember when we first came here, didn't we just watch like an entire city or settlement get blown up with a giant fireball or something?
Oh, you mean the one that Music mentioned?
That's the saying. He said Goldmore. That was where he was. What happened,
Oh, was it?
Music? And what was all the fire about when you were?
That was Samael. But everything you saw, what happened was these creatures come up out of the swamp and were attacking everything, and that big fireball was Samael crashing down. Oh, you mean when the mines exploded?
The mines. What? Wait, what?
Well, that's where I was. I was working in the mines down there. That's where all the dragon shards embedded in me. It was a big explosion down there, caved in and everything. Everybody died, I think, except for me.
So there was a big explosion in the mines.
I guess that's what it was. I don't know, man. I mean, it was kind of chaotic.
And of course, to Ender, this information sounds familiar. Many of the settlements within the marches, Ender, you would know that Eberron Dragon Shard is found easily throughout the marches, underneath the surface of the ground. Don't really have to dig too deep to find it. You just need to know where to look. But this idea of actual mines, especially in gold mire, sounds just ridiculous to you. Like there would be a need for something like that. Hello, Ender. Are you there?
I am right here. Well, I could tell everyone about it.
Oh yeah. You clearly the whatever was going on in Goldmire is way far off from the traditions of your homeland.
Well, sounds like Goldmire is a big investigation area. Maybe we should head there.
Alright, so putting the pieces together. Goldmire is breaking traditions. Derak is... Gosh, no. Okay, Derak is frustrated that these traditions are being broken. He wants things restored. And he was a past dignitary for one of the houses, maybe?
I don't know if going to Goldmire is a good idea, guys.
Ender would know that the leadership of House Tharask was called the Triumvirate. I did say Ender, not Eli.
Ender might know a lot of this stuff, but there's no way I'm going to remember all this stuff.
Of course not, which is why I'm helping you.
Last I saw in Goldmire, the guards are being overrun. Some owl just showed up and was fighting everything kind of by himself for a while there. I can't imagine that he won. It was bad. I don't know if going to Goldmire is even a safe idea.
But I guess what I've learned is technically us and Derak.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yes. Derek, okay, are on the same side, it seems like. I know he was kind of pissed that we rode something that it wasn't natured, but in the bigger picture, we're on the same side, so we can say we're happy to help.
Dark, though, seems to have his own interest. As soon as our interests do not align with his, he's going to make a very powerful enemy.
Well, I mean, we're just looking for the information. We don't have to take a blood oath. Yeah? Maybe? No?
If we have to take a blood oath, make me do it. It'll confuse him.
What do you guys think? Should we head to Goldmire? Should we talk to Derak? Should we just keep going? What do you think, Ender?
Me?
This is your home, is it not?
Isn't Goldmire the place that was getting attacked once upon a time when we were flying in?
As you recall, after passing over the border, dealing with the strange customs that are now set on the border between Droam and the Shadow Marches, you and Eli aboard the bridge of the New Horizon witnessed this fiery flame, which music has now told you was this individual called Samael, hurtling towards the village of Goldmire. So you do recall something happened in Goldmire a little under a week ago, which apparently, according to music, to him seems like it happened years ago.
Because it did. He got pulled into the void, or the astral plane somehow. So whatever happened in Goldmire pulled him into the astral plane.
And we found our companions' things in the astral plane. Or were they put there? Or did they come from there?
Well, according to Harak, Harak suggested that Verexul would deposit things from individuals that it had come across or destroyed, or things that were given to it as tribute. It would deposit those within the vault. That was Harak's recollection.
So they obviously fell to him then. The first group or the second group. So
Cedo, the letter, do you recognize them as the first or the second group?
Is it the first or the second group? It's one of the groups.
it's the second group because it says regards to the missing expedition.
Well, there's more than one missing expedition.
Yeah.
That's true.
Zito would know that there were a few expeditions before your group was sent. You are essentially the third expedition.
So do we want to message Derek or not? Do we want to keep going ahead?
If you want my opinion, I say we don't message him at all. If he needs to talk to us, we'll tell him then. But none of the beasts or the spirits are gonna interfere with us. I don't think we should interfere with them.
I agree with Zido, but he does know information which could be useful, but
Red has been silent this entire time and speaks up. Well, after we go back to Hartham and I can find a safe place for the cubs, then maybe we can decide where to go next if we don't find what you're looking for in Hartham.
that sounds like a good idea. I guess we can go to Hartham.
I suppose we can always talk to Derek later if we need to.
And on that note, Red sort of stretches and yawns, says, well, I'm going to get some sleep. I don't know about y'all, but I need my beauty rest.
Yes, I do too.
I'll take
Vito's
first
gonna
watch.
continue to work on the marmoset.
Zito, you're going to work on the marmoset?
Yeah.
Okay.
Latana, you don't need to take watch. I can actually stay awake the entire time.
Red heads away from you all and descends down into the grove. Are you all staying up here to take your watch, or are you going back into the cave?
I think we should probably go inside the cave.
Yes, I think the cave would be better. Let's find
Okay.
a 10-foot, well, a room bigger than 10 feet, wide, 10 feet tall.
There are several antechambers.
Right.
I think we should go onto the boat instead of the cave.
Red
Oh.
has already gone into the cave. If you'd like to call Red back.
I would let the call Red back. I don't think we should leave the boat unguarded. Again.
Oh, okay. So I guess we sleep on the boat?
Works for me. Nathana starts skipping in that direction.
Okay. What about the rest of you? I feel like not everyone is agreeing or on the same page with this idea. So I'm kind of curious as what everyone's going to do.
Well, I was gonna
Indifferent
cast the
about
hut.
where we rest.
But, I mean, the boat is fine too.
Okay.
You can cast a hut on the boat.
That is true, I can.
Who wants to come take a nap in Eli's cozy little magical bubble?
Yes, come to my bubble.
I'm actually going to stay closer to where Harok is because of the state that he was in when he left us.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay on the deck of the boat and practice my music overnight while we're resting.
All right.
She was
What
going to go onto the boat.
You're going with them. What about you, Ender?
I'm indifferent. I suppose I'll rest with Ari
Okay.
and Red in the cave.
All right. So almost half of the group in the cave, the other half on the boat, and you all wish to take a rest. Now, ordinarily, I would say you couldn't take another long rest because you guys just took a long rest, but time is topsy-turvy between the astral plane and the material plane, so I will allow you all to take a long rest.
Astral jet
pass
lag.
time. I mean, we'll pass time too, because Eli will ask.
You would have to... okay. All I was going to say is you would have to pass a considerable amount of time ordinarily to take another long rest, is what I meant.
I don't see why we would all split up, though. I don't mean to, like... I think that splitting up to rest isn't very smart.
I don't think it is either, but
I don't understand why we're doing that.
But he does bring a good point. The boat needs to be protected. Our cleric friend doesn't have that mark. The boon that we just got. And that is our way to the next city.
And as you say that, Eli, you realize that each of you have some sort of little lightning bug flying over your heads. Spark of light which intermittently glows that follows each of you. And occasionally comes to rest on a part of your body, a shoulder, your chest, crawls around, and then becomes a light once again, flying around, glowing faintly.
See? We're safe, but she's not. And she's our only way to the next city, unless you want to walk.
Well, you do have that.
A bug!
You do have that. Did you really just do that?
I don't like bugs.
You hit it. Roll damage.
Oh
yeah, that thing is gone. Music calls out and almost in fright, and palm out blasts an energy wave, nearly blasting his own face off because the bug was like floating right near his temple.
Whew, that was close. That thing almost got me.
And it's gone. And then after a few minutes, you all notice as more of them start showing up. Now more than one. And they're now buzzing around his head.
Eli, cast the hut! Cast the hut!
I'll cast the hut. Ender, did we decide where we're gonna go sleep? Ender, Ari?
Have you and Auri descended into the cave, or are you guys still up there talking to them?
I'm still talking. I don't think it's a smart idea to split up, so I'm gonna stay with the group, and I recommend Red and Ari stick with the group too.
And it's a simple task of retrieving Red. She's down in the grove right now. I agree, Ender. I think one of you just needs to make a decision.
Yeah. I see a lot, how do I say it?
Waffling?
Lack of decisiveness in the group. It's just been kind of lacking leadership.
Well, then let's sleep on the boat. Everyone, I will cast the hut.
Okay.
The hut is casted.
And Lethana takes first watch.
All right.
Why are you taking a watch when I
But-
can stay up all night?
Music doesn't. Music can keep watch, right?
Music
Yeah,
is
I don't need to sleep.
yeah, he just needs 4 hours, similar to an elf. That fey ability to just be in sort of a powered down mode, if you will.
Well, we just met you. Number one, no offense. And number two, I'm kind of a light sleeper anyways. I had to get, like, really, really tired to fall asleep.
Then we can take watch.
A somewhat sleepy-eyed Red comes trudging up the spiral staircase to the top and says, "There's a bug on me." And you can see that the lightning bug is crawling around on her cheek. Did you just shoot Red in the face?
No, I insulted the bug so bad it died.
Okay. More of the bugs show up.
Will you stop killing the bugs, music?
Ah!
Eli will turn to Zito and like, you know that book that you found in the vault? It's what I read in the other identified book, it's a very, very powerful spell book. I'd like to look at it so I could maybe copy some of it in mine.
1 second, Eli. I'm fixing this toy.
Eli, you say that as you can see that Zito is clearly completely engrossed in trying to repair this construct marmoset. Are you having this conversation on the way to the boat? I assume you're all heading there now?
Yeah.
We're in the boat.
Okay. Okay, you're all in the boat. You've cast the bubble, correct?
Oh, yes. I guess Zito's fixing it in the bubble.
Okay. So you're all sort of dogpiling around each other to now there's an extra person now within the bubble. It's a kind of a tight fit.
A little more cuddly. Oh. Ooh, come here a little closer.
I'm not cuddly at all.
Yeah, that's definitely not how I would describe a Warforged. Cuddly.
Oh, but he was taking watch. Get out of here, get out of the bubble.
Cast fireball, quick!
Although the moment you leave, all the bugs go to you, so...
So, I guess my question to you all is, was there anything else that you wanted to accomplish before you all take your long rest and we progress time to the next day?
Copy spells.
Other than that, is there anything else that you'd wish to do?
No.
I think I'm going to look at my attuned weapons while we're
Oh,
resting.
yes. We should
Okay.
all attune to our new items.
That's
That is
probably
one
a good
thing.
idea.
Also, if anyone has any, items that they're not attuned to anymore, like they can't attune to, I put them in the party sheet, and if anyone's interested, can grab that you're not using anymore, like an item that you can't use anymore, as well. So we can spread wealth around. It was just an idea.
I think it's a great idea.
And Eli will want to cast Sending to his first mate, asking how the ship progresses.
You're casting your sending spell to your first mate?
Yes, and asking how long will the ship be down, and how the progress is going on the upgrades.
He responds with, the ship is in pieces. The artificer says it will be almost a month before everything is completed. And then everything is fine.
Oh, okay. Well, that takes away all of Eli's chances of ever getting the ship back anytime soon. Ah, man. Upgrades. You wish they were just instant, man.
Would anyone else like to do anything before we progress time?
Lithana would like to spend her watch trying to decipher the letter that Tamir's sister gave her.
Okay.
Zito would like to look at the prism in the stone.
Oh, did you decide to identify it?
Do they appear magical?
They do. One looks like a chunk of Sybaris dragon shard, and it has been inscribed with arcane symbols. The other one looks like a small prism, and when you touch it, it glows brightly.
Yeah, I'm going to identify both of them.
Okay. Ender and Auri, what are you doing within Eli's little bubble? You said you were looking at your attuned items?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just messed around with my character sheet and tuned my stuff.
Okay. The prism, after you identify it, is a gem of brightness. It looks like this. Has a little tripod. And the other one is a speaking stone. It is House Civis's proprietary means of communicating long distance instantaneously.
It's not another one-way sending stone, is it?
It is how you are able to communicate with someone who also has a speaking stone.
Is it something I have to be attuned with to use?
It is something that you have to have the mark of scribing to use. You would have to be a dragon-marked individual with the mark of scribing.
Alright, I'll put that back into the bag.
Okay. I should also mention that the book that Eli is so desperately trying to pull out of your hands, that book that you found, the grimoire, it has not been identified either.
I'll wait until Eli goes to sleep.
Okay.
You got your own toys, Eli. Let me look at mine first.
But he wants it.
I give him the Devastator spellbook to go over.
That's true, you did. Okay. So that's all that you all wish to do for the evening. I will mark you all taking a long rest. Time progresses. Get your spell slots back. The next morning, Ghanima, you can hear the sound of her coughing and hacking. I guess she was having a puff on her pipe this morning. And she comes stumbling out of the wheelhouse on the catamaran and says, "Oh, I didn't even notice that y'all were here." And she rubs one of her eyes with a fist and says, "Are you ready to go?"
Yes, we are.
Oh, I need to meet with Herok very quickly, if that's okay.
Sure. Take your time. I get paid regardless.
I'm almost finished, guys. As you see, music sweeping up a big pile of bugs into the bag with the living armor.
And by bugs, he means ashes, because he's been blasting them to bits.
Yeah, it's been nonstop Eldritch Blast all night.
And it's almost like a Hydra. You kill one, it splits into two. You kill two, it splits into four.
I just imagine that this bow is just now covered with more bugs and...
You no longer see a Warforged bard. You just see bugs. crawling over the form of what once was music.
I call you Bugsy now.
And on
It just won't stop.
And on that note, we are getting close to 10, so we can come to an ending for tonight if you all wish to do so. I apologize. It was a bit of a talky session. I know that's not always everyone's bag.
It's better than fighting. We can get killed doing that.
True.
There has been an awful lot of fighting in the last few sessions as well, so I think you guys kind of needed a little bit of a break, if you will.
Could we maybe go to Harak really quickly?
I leave that up to the rest of the group.
Go on.
Do any of you wish to go with her? Or are you going alone,
Yeah.
Lithano?
I would go with her.
Okay. How are you just tagging along?
We're heading off to talk to Harak with the Greater Restoration spell. Anyone else coming?
Yes, I will go.
Alright, well, come catch us. And she starts running in that direction.
Lithana just breaks out into a sprint, running along the edge of the river, back towards the entrance to the cavern. And eventually,
Zito will go along.
Zito, you're going along? Seems like everybody's going along, correct?
I'm going along, but I am pouting hard.
Okay. What about you, Ender? Are you staying behind with Ganema on the boat?
Yeah, I'm done for the night too, guys. Good night.
Okay. Ender says
Yeah.
farewell to you all as the rest of you run off in the direction of the caves.
Actually, I'm going to need to take off for the night as well, so I'm going to go ahead and say I stayed on the boat pouting.
Okay.
Y'all have a great night.
We'll say
Have a
Red.
good night.
Too, man.
We'll say Red stayed behind as well. So over half of the group now, frolicking towards the caves. Eventually, you get to the familiar sight of the elemental, and you can see that the elemental has all of the spread and the temporary tables that are there are all gone. The ashes from the funeral pyre are still there, and there are now what look like poles stuck in the ground with flags of different colors, which have various sigils on them. And the large elemental, which serves as a capstone to the entrance where the stairs are, is just sort of sitting there cross-legged and is scratching the side of its head, adjusting the thatch building, which it uses as a hat. And as you all descend down back into the caves, you find within the grove the familiar sight of your druid turtle companion, Harak. And he is looks like he's making some tea in that kettle that you saw when you first all entered into the cave for the first time. Oh, good morning. Did you all sleep well?
Good morning, Harak. Yes, we did. We slept very well. I hope I don't. I guess I'm just excited. I don't want to come off as too pushy, but do you happen to be available for that Greater Restoration now?
Oh, yes, the spell. Yes, I can help you with that. Come here, child, and have a seat. And he gestures towards a little, just a pile of rocks, a flat top rock, which is right across from him.
She sits down right away.
And he begins to take various materials out of a bag. And he begins to mush things together in like what it looks like a mortal in a pestle. And he pulls out a gleaming diamond, which he then begins to crush into the mortal and pestle. And then he, with a scoop of his big, meaty turtle palm, pulls up this glimmering mud, and he begins drawing on your forehead. And as he smears it across your forehead, you feel a warmth, this warming sensation pass through your body. And you start to feel another sensation. A sensation of calming and a sensation of recalling. Sensation of sadness and loss, secrets, punishment. Hello, Lithana Aisha. I see you have broken the spell. And Lithana, as you look at the turtle druid, your sight becomes hazy. And now you're not seeing the cave or the turtle. You are seeing a vast expanse, another plane of existence, various orbs resembling constellations and planetary celestial bodies floating. A great glowing, roiling, boiling sea of matter. These orbs floating up into the expanse and beyond. Stars stretching out before you. And one other thing. A shadowy figure. A tornado with appendages. And a series of glowing, golden, fiery eyes orbiting this celestial body, this tornado, this dark, violent being reaching forward towards you. I have your children. Come and find me. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.